Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Comprehensive Martial Arts, starting from the leader of the clan. Chapter 51. Zhang Feng returned for a while, and Zhang Cheng took him to gradually become familiar with family affairs. The Zhang family's commercial power is one of them, and more importantly, the force in their hands. In a world where martial Dao is powerful, force always ranks first. On the surface, Zhang Jiaming built his family on business and valued harmony. The secret force is not known to outsiders. The business is so big, but there is no protective force in the dark, and I am afraid that no one will eat up the dregs. Only some forces with deep foundations vaguely understand that the Zhang family is not as simple as it seems on the surface. Qingfeng Valley, a valley near the back mountain of Zhangjia. This place is heavily guarded except for the older generation of hermits. No one else in the Zhang family is allowed to enter without a warrant from the head of the family. Zhang Feng curiously followed Zhang Cheng to this valley. He has never even been here. I asked Zhang Cheng before, and Zhang Cheng said that he would not ask any more questions after he became an adult. Enter the valley. Then he heard the sound of weapons being handed over, turned left and right, and came to a square. Zhang Feng's eyes narrowed. In the square, hundreds of young men and women fought together. There was no opponent. Everyone among the hundreds of people was each other's opponent. Someone is in the middle of a fight, and suddenly a knife comes out from next to them. Everyone is not surprised by this. Men accounted for the majority of the crowd, with less than 20% women. Zhang Feng's eyes were a little surprised. These people are about in their early 20s, and those with the lowest cultivation level are all upper 3 grades, and some are even at the peak of 1st grade. These hundreds of people would definitely be considered geniuses in the arena. There is a gap between him and the top geniuses who are famous in the world. Among the sects, he is definitely the backbone of the sect. Under the fighting stage, there was a group of masters who all had innate cultivation. The number of people reached 20. The leader is clearly a top expert at innate late stage. This person has condensed 2 flowers, his talent is not weaker than Zhang Feng's me, and his cultivation level is even higher than his. When Zhang Cheng and Zhang Feng arrived, the leader saluted and said, "I have met the master of the house, young master." Zhang Cheng's expression was serious. Nighthawk listens to the order. From now on, Zhang Feng will be in charge of the scavenger and must not disobey the order. Nighthawk stood up straight. Yes, from now on the scavenger will be the knife in Master Zhang Feng's hand. The point where the blade points is the direction of the scavenger. Zhang Cheng looked at Zhang Feng. The meaning was obvious. From now on, the command will be yours. You can give the order yourself. Continue the drill, I'll come back to you later. Zhang Feng gave the first order. From beginning to end, the battle on stage never stopped. Yes, Nighthawk turned and left. Zhang Feng then asked, "Father, what's going on with the scavenger?" Zhang Cheng clasped his hands behind his back and said as he walked, "The Zhang family adopts orphans from various places every year." Zhang Feng knew this. When he was a child, he planned to adopt some orphans as his future team members. After discovering that the Zhang family had been doing this and had a unified system, they gave up the idea of going it alone. This world is not illusory, and the people in it are not so brainless. The only solutions he could think of were things that were beyond the understanding of the times. This world has it all. He is no better than the people of this world. The Zhang family has a very mature process for secretly cultivating power, running businesses, maintaining relationships, etc. With the little knowledge he had in his previous life, he was still a student in this regard. All in all, except for modern technology, in all other aspects, people in this era are no worse than the elites in previous generations. There are many dynasties in this world. There are no big wars, but small wars. In addition, there are many people in the arena and the forces are complicated. Medical care and various benefits are far different from those in previous lives. Therefore, there are many orphans everywhere. Being adopted by the Zhang family is considered lucky. People with average luck were sold to wealthy families as slaves. The luckier ones are worse. They are trafficked to the mines to work as coolies and never see the light of day. The worst thing is that some people use it to harvest and cut living things. They can neither survive nor die. Zhang Cheng continued. These orphans are trained by branches in various places and arranged according to the situation. Martial Dao. Those with poor talents are assigned to the trading firm. They start as young servants. Those who are smart and worth cultivating are gradually trained to become shopkeepers or even higher positions. Zhang Feng nodded. The Zhang family found a way out for these orphans. The worst thing is to be a servant and have no worries about food and clothing. If you work for a long time, you can save some money and marry a wife. There is a force that protects me, and I can make money to support my family safely, which is more than many people. Some people want to come to the Zhang family, but the Zhang family does not necessarily want them. Joining halfway is not as sincere as someone who has been raised since childhood. The orphan who had eaten his last meal but failed to finish his meal. Being able to have enough to eat and eating meat every now and then, one is naturally more loyal to the Zhang family than outsiders. Those with martial Dao talents should be trained together and then distributed. Zhang Cheng spoke slowly. Those with third-level talents will stay in the branch or store as guards. Those with second-level talents can escort the caravan or join the secret guard. The person with the strongest talent will be accepted into the Zhang family and join the scavengers. Zhang Feng suddenly realized, no wonder this group of people are all very talented. They were selected from all the members of the Zhang family. The Zhang family adopts thousands of orphans every year. These people are all talents selected from hundreds of people. Coupled with the tilt of resources, this achievement is not surprising. What do scavengers do every day? Zhang Feng asked curiously. Zhang Cheng began to assess Zhang Feng and said with a smile, now that you are in charge of the family, and the power of the scavenger is given to you, how will you use it? Zhang Feng pondered for a while. It's not advisable to just practice in the back mountain. It's good to look at but useless. Let me arrange scavengers. First, they must handle tasks that the secret guards cannot handle. Zhang Cheng was noncommittal. What else? Zhang Feng rubbed his chin. Scavengers have consumed a lot of resources of the Zhang family. To develop sustainably, there must be output. Zhang Feng estimated that these more than 100 people consumed more resources than all the adopted orphans combined. If there are no tasks and no benefits, it is not conducive to the healthy development of scavengers. After so many years of development, there are many innate masters among the secret guards. In order to balance development, some people with first-class talents join the secret guards as high-level training for the secret guards. Most of the problems encountered in the Zhang family's business can be handled by the secret guards. On the surface, there doesn't seem to be much for a scavenger to do. Zhang Feng's eyes lit up and he thought of something. The king of hell is easy to mess with, but the kid is difficult to deal with. Scavengers are extremely powerful. If we arrange scavengers to a city where the Zhang family has business and form a gang, they can secretly protect the Zhang family's business. Zhang Cheng nodded happily. Fenger, you can think so carefully. As a father, I am very pleased. The scavenger you see is only part of it. Others have spread to various places and established various gangs. First, they are to protect the Zhang family's business and collect resources. Second, they are also another channel for news about the Zhang family. Zhang Cheng said earnestly, Fenger, you have to remember. Don't put your eggs in one basket. If you listen together, you will understand that the Zhang family has secret guards to gather information, but it cannot be just secret guards. Dad, I understand. Zhang Feng nodded. Zhang Feng took over the family affairs and had a clearer understanding of the family's sphere of influence. The Zhang family's business is centered on the Zhongnan region. All other states in the Song dynasty had Zhang family's influence. Due to the fact that the official power of other states is still being connected, it is much inferior to that of Zhongnan. Peace is the most important thing in doing business, and weapons cannot solve everything. In the realm of the Song dynasty, the rules that should be followed must still be followed. On the surface, the power of martial Dao in the Song dynasty was weaker than that of several other countries. However, after all, the resources of the entire dynasty are combined into one. Regardless of resource base or talent, there are only a handful of comparable forces in the world. Zhang Feng had no idea of replacing Da Song. There are too many things to do in managing a dynasty and it is too complicated. Thankless effort. The development potential of the Chamber of Commerce is not small, and the world of merchants may not be worse than the imperial dynasty. In addition, the scavengers established forces in major cities in the Song dynasty and secretly escorted the Zhang family Chamber of Commerce. In other countries, including the Tang and Ming dynasties, which were close to the Song dynasty, the Zhang family also opened some shops. The scale is not large, so let's test the waters for now. All in all, the Zhang family's current influence has spread to the entire Song dynasty, and its strength is far ahead of other families in Suzhou. Not to mention that the Zhang family secretly has 2 great-grandmaster ancestors. There are not many things in the Zhang family that require Zhang Feng to do personally. Previous generations have sorted out the family's running processes very clearly. All he has to do is to use good people and ensure that all lines are under supervision. Keep control of the general direction. At this time, Zhang Junru came over. Auntie. Zhang Feng saluted. Fenger, you handle family matters quite smoothly. Zhang Junru asked with a smile. Fortunately, it's not much. Zhang Feng said with a smile. That's good. Zhang Junru raised the book in her hand. Guess why my aunt came here. Is it Fenger's marriage? Auntie has a suitable candidate. Marriage is a big event for the first time in 2 lives, even though I know it is definitely not a bad choice. Zhang Feng still felt a little expectant and nervous. Good. Zhang Junru handed over the brochure. These are the women who meet the requirements after being screened. Take a look. Zhang Feng took the book and turned to the first page, which showed a portrait of a woman. My aunt really put a lot of thought into it. The woman in the album has bright eyes, white teeth, and good looks. Although she cannot be called a queen, she is still a first-class beauty. Zhang Junru introduced. This is the daughter of the Suzhou County Sheriff. She is in her 20s and 80s. She is waiting in a boudoir and has reached the age of marriage. He is good at playing music, chess, calligraphy and painting, and Marshall Dao's talent is not bad. After reaching the 4th grade level, it will not be a big problem to enter the upper 3 grades before the age of 18. I think the family background meets the requirements in all aspects. In this world, martial artist represents strength and the hope of immortality. All major aristocratic families, both men and women, have been practicing since childhood. There is no situation where a woman is powerless. Zhang Feng was noncommittal. Is the governor's daughter going to marry a matchmaker? The aunt nodded. If all the strength of my Zhang family is exposed, the daughter of a mere county guard can only be a concubine. In the current situation, it is definitely clear that the matchmaker is getting married. Zhang Feng has already passed in his heart. Although this girl's conditions are good, she is more than 1 level behind a genius like Dongfang Bubai. Zhang Feng does not consider marrying for the time being. Nothing else. He is interested in the Zhonggu woman whom he was familiar with in his previous life. Marrying a wife early is not good for the future. His initial thoughts. Just don't have a wife. Treat everyone equally. Letting those proud geniuses come to the Zhang family to be concubines and inferior to others will undoubtedly create trouble for themselves. Zhang Feng told his aunt what he was thinking. Zhang Junru was stunned, then chuckled and said, "You little guy is quite greedy. My aunt supports your idea. Why don't you just stop taking concubines in the future? Just use it as a Taoist companion. It's not a good idea for people in the world to have concubines. If you're looking for a Taoist companion, it wouldn't be a big problem to find a few more, right?" Zhang Feng was stunned. He just mentioned an idea, and my aunt had already found a reason. As expected of a dear. Well, just do what my aunt wants. Zhang Feng was secretly happy. From now on, I, Zhang, will only look for Taoist companions, not concubines. I flipped through several in a row, and overall I was satisfied with it, but I felt it was a bit lacking. These objects, in his previous life, Zhang Feng would have gone crazy with joy. All of them look better than A-list celebrities. In this life, my identity is different, and my vision has risen with the tide. Continuing to scroll down, Zhang Feng's eyes showed a hint of surprise. It turned out to be Wang Yuyan. Turning to Wang Yuyan, Zhang Junru became unusually serious. Fenger, if there are no special circumstances, do I recommend that you incorporate this woman into the Zhang family? Zhang Feng wondered. Why? So Zhang Junru told Li Qingluo about using the Langguan Jade Cave as a dowry. There was a strange color in Zhang Feng's eyes. Even if there was no Langguan Jade Cave, Zhang Feng would still incorporate Wang Yuyan into the Zhang family. The hardcover edition of Fairy Sister, who can bear it? Zhang Feng smiled. Auntie, that's exactly what I meant. There is also Langguan Jade Cave. The skills in Langwan Jade Cave were collected by Wu Yazi and Li Chushui. The two of them are members of the Xiaoyao sect. I wonder if there is a great grandmaster level technique. There is no doubt that Xiaoyaozi is a great grandmaster level person. Zhang Feng was looking forward to it. Looking through the entire picture album, except for Wang Yuyan, Zhang Feng felt that everyone else was in a dispensable position. It's okay to include it, and it won't be a pity if you don't. Forget it, just Wang Yuyan. Zhang Feng handed the album to Zhang Junru. You don't like anything else? Zhang Junru was stunned. This is what she found with great effort. Zhang Feng had a bit of a pig's foot aura in his eyes. After meeting Dongfang Bubai, it was confirmed that the protagonist is much more talented than ordinary people. Zhang Feng would rather lack than overflow. He did not deny that there must be some beauties that were not mentioned in the book. Haven't I encountered this yet? When he really meets the one he loves, he won't worry about whether he is the protagonist or not. Zhang Junru took the picture album and flipped through it, smiling bitterly. You have such a vicious eye, this Wang Yuyan is indeed the most beautiful one. It doesn't matter, you are still young anyway, as long as you have the right Zaina. By the way, I have discussed with your grandfathers and your father that taking a concubine and taking over as the head of the family should be placed on the same day. That's fine, Zhang Feng asked. Is there anything I should pay attention to? That's not true. The Zhanggu family doesn't have so many rules, but there will definitely be a lot of influence coming to watch the ceremony. Then please ask my aunt to arrange the time. The 8th day of March. The day when Zhang Feng succeeded as the head of the family and took in concubines. The Zhang family sent out invitations, and a few days ago people from all over the world came to watch the ceremony. Suzhou City is a bustling scene. The influence of the Zhang family is growing, and more people come than expected. Early in the morning, Zhang Feng put on the custom-made dehongpao and went to Mantuo Villa to meet the bride. Li Qingluo paid so much, and the Zhang family gave her enough face. 8 big sedans are carried, and the matchmaker is getting married. Except for the title of head wife, everything is handled according to the standards of marrying a head wife. Li Qingluo was very satisfied with this. Considering Wang Yuyan's physical condition, this is already the best result. Mantu Villa. The atmosphere was somewhat solemn. A group of people blocked the Langwan Jade Cave, and Li Qingluo stood guard in front of the Langwan Jade Cave to prevent others from entering. When Li Qingluo promised to give the secret book of Langwan Jade Cave as a dowry, the Zhang family did not accept it in advance in order to avoid misunderstanding. A middle-aged man with an ugly face said, "Brother and sister, do you know what you are doing? You used the secret book belonging to the Wang family as Yun'er's dowry. Have you asked the Wang family?" This person is Wang Zongping, the elder of the Wang family, who was arranged by the family to copy the secret manual. Murong Fu stood aside with no expression on his face. He regarded the secret book in Langwan Jade Cave as something in his pocket. But he didn't expect that Li Qingluo would be so generous and use it all as Wang Yuyan's dowry, which caught him off guard. Li Qingluo sneered and said, "Wang Zongping, don't talk nonsense. My own things will be used as a dowry for Yun'er. Why do I need the consent of the Wang family? Are these secrets from your Wang family? You married into the Wang family, you will be a member of the Wang family when you are born, and you will be a ghost of the Wang family when you die." Wang Zongping said coldly. Enough. Li Qingluo looked angry. Back then, if the Wang family continued to look for famous doctors to treat Yun'er, it wouldn't hurt if I gave you a copy of the secret. Just talking about it makes me angry. After his husband passed away, the Wang family stopped seeking medical advice for Yuyan. The Wang family believes that no matter how talented a woman is, she will eventually get married and make wedding clothes for others. This made Li Qingluo very upset. Brothers and sisters, the Wang family has no intention of not treating Yun'er. Wang Zongping said sincerely, "You yourself know Yun'er's condition. How many doctors were hired back then, but ordinary famous doctors couldn't cure her at all. Yun'er is a member of the Wang family after all. She broke her bones and connected her tendons. Since you have agreed to use the secret book in Langwan Jade Cave as your dowry, I will no longer object. But as a member of the Wang family, let the Wang family make a copy of the head office, right? Besides, if Yun'er marries into the Zhang family, she still needs support from her mother's family, right? Wang Zongping was very stubborn, so he played the emotional card. Li Qingluo's face was indifferent. Over the years, she had seen through the Wang family's typical behavior of being unable to afford early benefits. After Wang Yuyan married into the Zhang family, it was a fool's errand to try to borrow the power of the Wang family, unless it was beneficial. There are benefits. Borrowing someone's strength is not borrowing. It is better to rely on the Zhang family wholeheartedly. At least the Zhang family has a better reputation than the Wang family. Coupled with Wang Yuyan's identity, Li Qingluo has no feelings for the Wang family. You don't need to say more. The Langguan Jade Cave is a gift left to me by my parents. Now it is Yun'er's dowry. No one can touch it. Li Qingluo simply refused. You. Wang Zongping laughed angrily. Okay. Don't use your parents to pressure me. They haven't shown up in years. If you don't get out of the way, don't blame me for forcing my way in. Li Qingluo's expression changed. Now Langguan Jade Cave belongs to the Zhang family. Aren't you afraid of offending the Zhang family? Wang Zongping's eyes flickered. Yu Yan hasn't married yet, so this place belongs to my Wang family. Besides, my Wang family will only copy one copy of the secret book, not that I won't give it to the Zhang family. I think the Zhang family can understand. Break in. Wang Zongping immediately ordered and took the lead. He is a mid-level master of innate, a level higher than Li Qingluo. Li Qingluo secretly regretted that if she had known better, she would have asked the Zhang family to take the secret book away directly. Without waiting for her to fight back. There was only a pop sound, and Wang Zongping fell to the ground like a cannonball. A man wearing a red wedding robe and a face like a crown jewel suddenly appeared. Not who Zhang Feng is. Wang Zongping just arrived at Mantuo Villa. The secret guard sent the news. Zhang Feng received the news and rushed to Mantuo Villa as soon as possible. Only then did this scene happen. My son-in-law has met my mother-in-law. Zhang Feng bowed and saluted. Li Qingluo's eyes lit up. She has seen the portrait of Zhang Feng. Unexpectedly, perfect being was much more handsome than the portrait showed. The portrait doesn't capture the charm of perfected being. The most important thing is strength. Wang Zongping is a genuine innate mid-term master. He was so easily slapped by Zhang Feng that he looked like a dead dog. This strength. Hiss. Okay, you must be Fenger, you are truly a talented person. Li Qingluo is the mother-in-law looking at her son-in-law, and the more she looks at her, the more satisfied she becomes. Merong Fu's expression changed. Zhang Feng appeared so fast that he didn't react. Doesn't it mean that if it were him, he would end up no different from Wang Zongping? No, this is absolutely impossible. He must have been thinking about whether to take action just now, and was distracted for a moment. Merong Fu comforted himself in his heart. Wang Zongping got up from the ground, with a trace of blood on the corner of his mouth. Today is a great day and it is not appropriate to kill. Zhang Feng has left it alone. The Zhang family is so overbearing. Wang Zongping's face turned livid. Does the Wang family want to prevent the Zhang family from getting back their belongings? When did Langguan Jade Cave become the Wang family's? This is a gift left to my mother-in-law by her parents. Zhang Feng said domineeringly. Today is a special day. It is not appropriate to kill. I advise you not to be disrespectful. It's just the Wang family. Zhang Feng is too lazy to argue with them. If you keep forcing me to do so, if you don't kill today, it doesn't mean you won't kill tomorrow. For the sake of my mother-in-law not being injured, I won't argue with you today. Remember, my mother-in-law will be protected by my Zhang family from now on. If you touch her, you will touch my Zhang family. There was a trace of murderous intent in Zhang Feng's eyes. If anyone from the Wang family dares to attack her, whoever does it will die. Situations are stronger than people. The Zhang family is stronger than the Wang family. He was beaten again and again, and was reasonable and unreasonable. Wang Zongping's lips trembled with anger. Li Qingluo looked at Zhang Feng's domineering attitude, with a hint of water in her eyes. Fenger, since you are here, take away the secret book inside. When Zhang Feng came, Li Qingluo gave it to him for free. Wang Zongping's mouth became angry. Okay, mother-in-law. Zhang Feng looked into the dark. Third grandpa, you are old and tired of these secrets. As soon as Zhang Junlong arrived, Zhang Feng noticed it. Okay, leave it to me, old man. Zhang Junlong walked out of the darkness in surprise and glanced sideways at Wang Zongping. Zhang Feng is the head of the Zhang family from today on. His words represent the will of the Zhang family. I advise you not to be ignorant of good and evil. He nodded and smiled at Li Qingluo and entered the Langguan Jade Cave. Secrets are precious. The Zhang family was not at ease and arranged for Zhang Junlong to come and receive it in person. Faced with the threat from the powerful Grand Master, Wang Zongping did not dare to say a word. He left in despair. I secretly resented. This matter is not over yet. It's my brother-in-law, I'm Yuyan's cousin Murong Fu. Murong Fu was not embarrassed at all, as if what happened just now had nothing to do with him. Zhang Feng pretended to be surprised. It turns out to be Nan Murong, whom I have admired for a long time. Zhang Feng doesn't recognize this cheap cousin. What level do you want to be my brother? When others mentioned Nan Murong, Murong Fu didn't feel much. Coming from the mouth of a prodigy like Zhang Feng, Murong Fu grinned from ear to ear. The false reputation given by people in the world is not worth mentioning. Murong Fu waved his hand casually and had a good impression of Zhang Feng for a while. He is targeting the Zhang family, and Zhang Feng is also targeting the Murong family. The Murong family also has a lot of secrets about Shishui Pavilion, which is as good as Langguan Jade Cave. The ancestor, Murong Longcheng, disappeared 100 years ago. If nothing else, he should be alive. It is very possible that he has broken through the Great Grand Master realm. It was not advisable to break into Shishui Pavilion by force, and we had to start with Murong Fu. The two of them each have their own evil intentions, and they look like two brothers who are good friends. Not long after, the wedding reception team arrived. Mother-in-law, I'm going to pick up Yuyan first. Hurry up. Li Qingluo smiled and said, follow me. Haha, when Yanmei gets married, I, as my cousin, will be my protector. Murong Fu said with a hearty smile. Thank you, brother Murong. Don't reach out to hit the smiling person. The Murong family has no conflict with the Zhang family for the time being, so there is no need to stalemate the relationship. The Mantu Villa is decorated in bright red, giving the island a festive atmosphere. A young girl with a palm-sized face hurriedly walked into the room. Cousin, my uncle is here. Wang Yuyan wore a red hijab and held her fingers tightly. Abby, I will call you Miss from now on. Another woman who was not inferior to Abby in beauty corrected her. After Murong Fu returned to Yanziwu that day, he sent the two maids Azu and Abai to Mantuo Villa and gave them some important tasks. This left the two young women confused about the future. Sister Azu, am I not used to this? Abai muttered. Zhang Feng entered the room. At a glance, he saw Wang Yuyan wearing a bright red hijab and two stunning women beside him. I've met Madam, young master cousin, and young master. Two women, Azu and Abai, hurriedly saluted. Everything is ready. Li Qingluo signaled that there was no need to be polite and introduced. Fenger, these two are Yun'er's dowry maids, Azu and Abai. Zhang Feng was stunned. It was buy one get two free. This matter had nothing to do with Murong Fu, he didn't believe it. Interesting. Murong Fu was afraid that he would lose his wife and lose his troops. Well, mother-in-law, it's getting late, let's leave early. Zhang Feng smiled and nodded towards Azu and Abai, walked to Wang Yuyan and held her hand. Yun'er, let's go. Wang Yuyan tightened her fingers and let Zhang Feng hold her. On the edge of the lake, the fleet welcoming the bride was all painted bright red. The ships were all urgently recruited from the Zhang family caravan and underwent a luxurious transformation. A group of people got on the boat. Zhang Feng accompanies Wang Yuyan's family. There was a quarrel with the Wang family, and the Murong family was the majority of the family. Wang Yuyan stayed in the room with two girls, Azu and Abai. Miss, my uncle is so handsome. Abby chirped in Wang Yuyan's ear. With no outsiders around, Wang Yuyan relaxed a lot and joked, you girl, you must be in love with spring. Abby's face turned red and she said, no. Azu smiled and said, I think you, little girl, are in love with spring. Sister Azu, you're laughing at me too. Abai refused and got into a fight with Azu. The two were arguing for a while, and Wang Yuyan remembered Li Qingluo's explanation. Azu, Abai, we are called masters and servants, but in fact we are sisters. If you marry into the Zhang family with me, you should put the Zhang family first in the future. My cousin should have told you something. You are all smart people and hope to know what you should do and what you should not do. Azu's face was startled. Miss, do you know everything? Abby looked flustered, as if she had been caught doing something bad. You can already guess my cousin's character. Otherwise, why would you two be allowed to marry him? It won't be a bad thing for you two to marry me into the Zhang family. You grew up in Yanziwu and have inherited the kindness from the Murong family. I know this. My cousin's goal is too unrealistic. It will not be smooth sailing in the future. Just repay this kindness if you have the opportunity. Azu and Abai looked at each other and realized it before they even started. Murong Fu regarded them as goods, and he couldn't possibly have some thoughts in his mind. Due to their status as maids, they have no right to decide their fate. After Wang Yuyan spoke, Azu said, Miss, we know what to do and will never betray the interests of the Zhang family. Wang Yuyan nodded happily. I will make it clear to my husband about this matter. Don't worry about it. My husband is not a narrow-minded person. Rather than hiding it, it's better to speak openly. In order to avoid unnecessary suspicion in the future when the Zhang family knows the identities of Azu and Abai. What Wang Yuyan didn't know was that when Zhang Feng saw Azu and Abai, he had guessed exactly what Murong Fu was thinking. The sedan boat docked. On the shore, the wedding team on land was waiting for a long time. Send Wang Yuyan to the sedan chair, and Zhang Feng to sit on the tall horse. The wedding team played suonas, beat gongs and drums, and red lanterns spread from the place where they disembarked to the Zhang family mansion. Both sides of the road were crowded with onlookers. Miss, it's so lively. Azu's eyes were blurry. There was a candy cart behind the team, filled with a large cart of the new candies launched by Zhongjia Trading Company. Distributed along the way, all the children were smiling and it was more lively than the Chinese New Year. Li Qingluo was extremely satisfied. The scene when she married into the Wang family was completely different. The wedding convoy, beating gongs and drums, arrived at the festively decorated Zhang family residence. Family lobby. After Zhang Feng settled Wang Yuyan, he heard a burst of hearty laughter. In the lobby, Zhang Feng saw people sitting on chairs chatting. There is Zhang Feng's grandfather Zhang Zhenshan, Zhang Feng's parents Zhang Cheng and Hua Jieyu. In addition, there is an old man with a majestic face. A graceful, rosy-faced woman in palace attire. Standing next to him was a young man with unfocused eyes and a gentle smile on his face. Just stepped in. The young man with dull eyes smiled and said, Listen to the footsteps, it's Xiao Feng here. Zhang Feng looked happy and saluted quickly. Grandpa, Grandma, you are here. Walking up to the young man, he hit his chest and said, Wawa, long time no see. Zhang Feng's mother came from the Hua family in Weizhou. The Hua family is the richest man in Weizhou. Mainly engaged in real estate business, they are the family with the most houses in Weizhou. Grandfather Hua Junshan and grandmother Li Qingqing both reached the Grandmaster realm through their cultivation. This unfocused young man is the famous Hua Manlu. He is a true gentleman worthy of friendship. Hua Manlu is similar in age to Zhang Feng, and has a level of cultivation that reaches innate. Zhang Feng's reputation as a genius is more or less watery, while Hua Manlu truly relies on himself. Unfortunately, he was blinded by an iron shoe thief when he was 6 years old. Later, the iron shoe thief was chased to death by the Hua family. Hua Manlu always felt that the iron shoe thief was not dead, and it had always been a worry. Zhang Feng vaguely remembered that the iron shoe thief was indeed alive because the iron shoe thief was a pair of brothers. After taking over the Zhang family, Zhang Feng is sending people to investigate. There will be news soon, and Hua Manlu will be given a surprise. Hua Manlu's eyes are not irrecoverable. In this world, there have been geniuses who can regenerate their limbs and repair themselves. However, they are so rare that even the richest people in the world can hardly find one. Or you can break through to the legendary celestial human realm on your own, where heaven and humans are reincarnated, which is more difficult than finding heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Zhang Feng may be cured by using primordial origin. This has to wait until he has enough power to protect himself. Until then, Hua Manlu can only endure it any longer. Xiao Feng, congratulations. Hua Manlu put her arm around Zhang Feng's shoulders. Haha, my grandson is here, let Grandpa take a good look. Hua Junshan stood up and looked at Zhang Feng with a satisfied look on his face. I haven't seen you for a while. I've been practicing innate. You two brothers are working together, not bad. There are 7 brothers in Wamanlu's generation. Wamanlu is the youngest and the most talented among the 7. Seeing that Feng'er was just a little kid back then, he has grown up in a blink of an eye. Li Qingqing held Zhang Feng in her arms and looked up and down. Grandma, where is my uncle? Hua Manlu's father, Hua Ruling, is the head of the Hua family and the eldest brother of Zhang Feng's mother. Your uncle and your cousins went to visit the perfume factory, Hua Jiayu said from the side. Zhongjia perfume is ready to attract investment. After discussing with Zhang Cheng, he planned to hand over the Wahia business to Wahia as an agent. Yang Soap is also the Wahia agent in Weizhou. The fat water does not flow to outsiders' fields. The Zhang family and the Hua family are natural allies and are more at ease than outsiders. Li Qingqing said, your uncle heard that Yuyan was insufficiently innate, so he made a special trip to Yaowangjuang to find Master Poisonous Hand Medicine Wang Wuan. Cheng Lingsu, a recent disciple of Master Wuan, is young and has outstanding medical skills. He came to Yang's house with us. Let's diagnose Yuyan after the wedding. Zhang Feng was deeply moved. Excuse me, uncle. One family doesn't talk about 2 families. Hua Junshan waved his hand nonchalantly. In-laws, it's almost time, let's go out. As the auspicious time was approaching, Zhang Zhenshan stood up and said with a smile. That's fine. Heroes from all walks of life, famous families, and dignitaries gathered together. People couldn't help but marvel at the influence of the Zhang family, and their evaluation of the Zhang family went to a higher level. There were so many people attending the wedding that the Zhang family simply held the banquet at the martial arts arena. Zhang Feng and Wang Yuyan appeared on the scene. All forces presented congratulatory gifts one after another. There was a person calling the names. Weizhou Flower House presented a Millennium Ganoderma lucidum plant and 2 pounds of Xingren Shen tea. Jingxiu Villa presented a pair of white jade and 2-century-old spirit medicine plants. The Morong family in Gusu gave me a pair of luminous pearls and 10,000 taels of silver. Each force presented heavy gifts, and the most precious ones were those from the Hua family. 1,000-year-old Ganoderma lucidum can only be found by chance. There is a refreshing tea tree in the Hua family, which has strange effects. After drinking it, your mind will be clear and refreshing, which is a rare good thing. This item is not for sale to the outside world. Except for personal use, it is generally used to entertain guests and as gifts. Too many forces came, and the roll call continued. The governor's mansion of Zhongnan province presented an authentic piece of Huang Tingjian's work. Authentic Huang Tingjian is so rare. The original nurturing spirit by a famous artist has first-class effects. The congratulatory gift from the governor of Zhongnan province made people sigh in admiration. The authentic works of this world-famous artist are more than just works of art. Only works that leave a lasting appeal can be called works by famous artists. The works of famous masters can be nurturing spirit. Long-term observation and practice have the effect of improving the soul, and their value is higher than those of the same level of exercises. Works by famous artists are hard to find, let alone a top master like Huang Tingjian. The gift of a calligraphy and painting is in line with the status of the governor of Zhongnan province. The apparent closeness between the imperial power and the Zhonggu power is not conducive to official career. This time, the governor of Zhongnan province did not come in person. There are too many twists and turns from the court officials. Even if everyone knows about your relationship, you still have to cover your ears and show your attitude first. The Sun and Moon God sect will give you 10 jars of Baihua brew, and 1 jar of 20-year-old Baihua brew. Zhang Feng was stunned. The Sun and Moon God sect was not invited this time. Zhang Feng glanced at the crowd under the table. Sure enough, Dongfang Bubai was dressed in men's clothing and sitting quietly on the seat. Seeing Zhang Feng's eyes, he raised the glass in his hand to signal, and Zhang Feng nodded slightly. Dongfang Bubai is determined. Baihua brew is sold in limited quantities in Zhonggu. A jar of Baihua brew is worth 10,000 taels, and the 20-year-old brew is sold in pots and pots. I owed someone another favor. It took almost half an hour to finish singing. Some people had strange looks on their faces. Each gift is more valuable than the last, and the value of the gifts represents the influence of the Zhang family. Some smart people saw the trend and decided to increase their efforts to make good friends with the Zhang family. Zhang Cheng walked up to the stage with a smile on his face. Thank you for your honor and participation in Quanzi's happy banquet today. Before the wedding begins, let me announce something. Everyone in the audience fell silent and looked at Zhang Cheng. From today on, my only son Zhang Feng will be the head of the Zhang family and will be responsible for everything in the Zhang family. I also ask for your support from all my colleagues in the Zhanggu family. A few days ago, some gossip about the Zhang family leaked out, and many people in the world didn't believe it. Zhang Feng is too young, under 20 years old. Other families have not determined the identity of their heirs at this age. In addition, Zhang Cheng was in his prime, so he unexpectedly gave up his position. For a moment, there was a lot of discussion in the audience. Zhang Cheng left the stage, and Zhang Feng looked directly at everyone in a dignified manner. Everyone, today I, Zhang Feng, take over the position of the head of the Zhang family. I am sincere and frightened. Please forgive me for any shortcomings in the future. In addition, the Zhang family's perfume business is recruiting partners. Those who are interested can stay to discuss after the banquet. The Zhang family adheres to the concept of making money together, and hopes that in the future, we and everyone here will support each other and develop together. Zhang Feng dropped a big news. The Zhang family's perfume business has attracted the attention of many influential people. Some people speculate that the Zhang family will keep the perfume in their own hands because of its high profits and scarce production. Unexpectedly, I actually took it out. Many forces had a good impression of the Zhang family. Don't eat alone, make money together, and be popular wherever you put it. In fact, the biggest beneficiary is the Zhang family. The profit of a single bottle of perfume has been reduced. With the influence of other forces, the sales volume will be many times higher. Total profits will absolutely explode. The Zhang family is kind, and we at Bu Villa fully support it. Parik Hall congratulates the Zhang family, and hopes that Parik Hall will cooperate better with the Zhang family in the future. All the forces with Grand Master at their command spoke out in support, and everyone was happy. Zhang Feng officially entered the sight of all major forces in the world. After paying homage, Wang Yuyan was sent to the bridal chamber. Zhang Feng received each of the leaders of the forces and became familiar with them. With common interests, all parties had a very lively chat. Zhang Feng, it's your fault for not sending me an invitation. Dongfang Bubai pretended to be angry. It's my fault, I'll drink 3 drinks as a penalty. Zhang Feng didn't say anything, but acted first as a sign of respect. The two are more than friends, not lovers yet, and their relationship is relatively subtle. Dongfang Bubai felt empty in his heart. Changing the subject. Do I have a share in the Zhang family's perfume business? Certainly. Zhang Feng agreed immediately without even thinking about it. The Sun Moon God sect has no shortage of property. Dongfang Bubai mentioned it casually and Zhang Feng's attitude made her feel a lot more comfortable. Not only perfumes, but also soaps can be sold for you. If you can afford it, the entire market in Ming Dynasty will be available to you. The Sun Moon God sect is a force of the Ming Dynasty. Outside of the Song Dynasty, the Zhang family's influence was limited. In addition, the Zhang family is a member of the Song Dynasty Chamber of Commerce. It is not a big problem to do business in other countries. Once you grow big, you will inevitably encounter various problems. Not only are Zhanggu forces besieging him, but the imperial court will also pay special attention to it. In the previous life when the rules were more perfect, if a company went to do business in other countries, it would be criticized by various interest groups, let alone now. If you want to grow bigger, you can only join forces with local forces and give up some of your benefits. I said it was for you, not for the Sun and Moon God sect. If the Sun and Moon God sect is not in your hands, the agreement will expire at any time. Zhang Feng added. Dongfang Bubai's face turned red. What does he mean? Are you cooperating with the Sun and Moon God sect because of my face? Right, who wouldn't cooperate with you in a business where you can make a sure profit without losing any money? Dongfang Bubai's face turned red and he said weakly, I know. Ahem. Dongfang Bubai was dressed as a man, and someone looked over. People who don't know also think that the new generation head of the Zhang family has special hobbies. Dongfang Bubai reacted with a proud look on his face. The Sun and Moon God sect will always be in my hands. Zhongfeng has always been curious about how Dongfang Bubai became the leader of the Sun Moon God sect. Dongfang's undefeated cultivation level is only innate. Among his peers, he is extremely outstanding. However, with innate's cultivation and identity as a woman, it is not that simple to win the position of leader of a great religion. Among the Sun and Moon God sect in this world, Dongfang Bubai is not the strongest. There are no fewer than 5 grandmasters in the Sun Moon God sect. Is it related to Dongfang Bubai's mysterious master? Zhongfeng muttered to himself. It is rare for people from all over the world to gather together, and a banquet lasts from noon to evening. With so many people present, it would be impossible to use the exercise method to force someone to drink alcohol and cheat. When the Zhongfeng Gong method is running, the alcohol will be decomposed when it enters the stomach. 1,000 cups will not make you drunk. It's amazing. Maybe the name of Dionysus will be spread in the world in the future. After receiving the guests, Zhongfeng returned to the bridal chamber. Wang Yuyan sat quietly on the bed. Yun'er, Zhongfeng's eyes were in a trance. Getting married for the first time in 2 lives feels amazing. He feels more at home in this world. Husband, husband, Wang Yuyan responded softly. Zhongfeng picked up the jug and poured 2 glasses of wine and said, Yun'er, give me a glass of wine. After drinking a glass of wine, Zhongfeng said softly, Yun'er, I'm going to take off the hijab. Yes, Wang Yuyan responded softly. Zhongfeng picked up Yurui on the table and gently opened his hijab. A face that could be both angry and happy appeared in front of him. Yun'er, you are so beautiful. Beautiful, so beautiful. Wearing red makeup and plain clothes, she is extremely enchanting. Wang Yuyan's face turned red and she didn't dare to look directly. Zhongfeng gently touched this face carefully carved by the creator with his hand, and couldn't help but. Husband, please have mercy. One night of spring sunshine, 3 poles in the sky. Zhongfeng looked at his wife who was sleeping next to her due to fatigue. The sound of getting up woke up Wang Yuyan. Yun'er, can you sleep a little longer? Wang Yuyan said angrily. Husband, I am going to serve tea to my father-in-law and mother-in-law today. You must not lose your etiquette. Frowning, he pushed himself up with difficulty in moving. Blame me. Wang Yuyan covered Zhongfeng's mouth. I don't blame my husband, I only blame Yun'er's body. Husband, both Azu and Abai are fine. Thinking of last night, Wang Yuyan felt scared. Let's talk about this later. Yun'er, my uncle has invited Cheng Lingsu, a close disciple of the poisonous hand Dr. King, and let her check it out later. No matter what the result is, I will definitely heal you. Zhongfeng looked solemn. Husband, I believe you. Wang Yuyan looked touched and felt Zhongfeng's concern. After the 2 of them rubbed their ears together for a while, they got up and went to serve tea to their parents. Hua Jiu held Wang Yuyan's hand, and the more she looked at it, the more she liked it. We will be a family from now on, and we don't need to talk about so many false etiquette. Feng'er, take Yun'er to find Cheng Lingsu. Okay, I know. Zhongfeng took Wang Yuyan to the backyard. Entering the backyard, a woman wearing a green dress sat on one side. The facial features are exquisite, the eyes are big and energetic, the bridge of the nose is plump, the skin is as smooth as jade, and the long hair is black and shiny, slightly hanging around the shoulders. I've seen Miss Lingsu. Zhongfeng is so polite. Zhongfeng bowed his hands. Cheng Lingsu's beauty is different from Wang Yuyan's. Wang Yuyan has an unearthly beauty. Cheng Lingsu gave Zhongfeng the impression of pure yet noble beauty. When beauty reaches a certain level, it is difficult to distinguish between superior and inferior. The only difference lies in temperament and style. I've met Mr. Zhang, Mrs. Zhang. Cheng Lingsu looked at Zhongfeng and blushed slightly. Miss Lao Lingsu will diagnose Zhuaojing. Wang Yuyan was a little nervous, fearing that her hopes would be in vain again. Zhongfeng held her hand and gave her an encouraging look. Mrs. Zhang, don't be nervous. I heard about the girl's condition before coming here. I can only draw a conclusion after diagnosing her pulse. Cheng Lingsu felt Wang Yuyan's nervousness and softly enlightened her. Thank you, Miss Lingsu. Wang Yuyan adjusted her mentality. Please extend your hand, Mrs. Zhang, and I will take Mrs. Yang's pulse. The 2 of them sat on chairs nearby. Cheng Lingsu put her hand on Wang Yuyan's wrist and closed her eyes lightly. After a cup of tea, Cheng Lingsu opened his eyes with a smile on his face. Miss Lingsu, how are you? Zhang Feng asked. Miss Zhang does have an innate deficiency. It's a coincidence that a month ago, I couldn't cure it. Cheng Lingsuyan smiled and said, exactly a month ago I developed a prescription that blindly makes up for innate's shortcomings. It should be able to cure Mrs. Yang's problem. The Zhang family has to provide the medicinal materials themselves. Zhang Feng was overjoyed when he heard this. Please ask Miss Lingsu to prescribe the medicine. Even if the Zhang family doesn't have the medicinal materials, I will definitely find a way to get them. Young Master Zhang, there is no need to worry. The medicinal materials presented by various forces at yesterday's wedding banquet are basically complete, and the remaining auxiliary medicinal materials are not uncommon. Miss Lingsu can use the Zhang family's medicinal materials at will. Wang Yuyan looked at Zhang Feng with love in her eyes and was surrounded by happiness. Cheng Lingsu looked at the couple with a trace of casual envy in his eyes. Cheng Lingsu is good at using medicine and even better at developing medicines. Amazing talent in medicine. I fully understood Poison Hand Medicine Kings, the god of Medicine King, and made Poison Hand Medicine King feel ashamed. His talent is evident. Mrs. Yang's constitution is weak, and she rashly administered strong medicine, which left her weak and unreplenished. Treatment requires 3 cycles of 1 month each. The first cycle only requires ordinary warming and tonic drugs, which is the conditioning period. In the second cycle, some older medicinal materials need to be used as a transition period. In the third cycle, it is the time to cure the disease, and it will take hundreds of years to use spirit medicine to make up for it. Cheng Lingsu gave a general introduction to the treatment cycle. Zhang Feng didn't know if Cheng Lingsu could stay in the Zhang family for so long, and he wasn't sure about his fake hands, so he said, I wonder if Miss Lingsu can stay in the Zhang family for these 3 months. Cheng Lingsu thought for a moment and said, I'm sorry. I wish I could have it. Cheng Lingsu settled in Yang's house. Wang Yuyan's face became rosier day by day. The relationship between the two is getting better and better, and they are like sisters. Everything in the Zhang family is running in an orderly manner. Cooperating with major forces, the Zhang family's perfume materials came from a wider range of sources, and their output increased significantly. Perfumes gradually spread from the Zhongnan region to the entire Song dynasty. In the Ming dynasty, there was the cooperation of the Sun and Moon sect. The perfume and soap business has made a name for itself. In addition, Zhang Feng took the time to include the exercises in Langguan Jade Cave into the system. The 2 heaven-level Great Grandmaster level techniques, Beiming Magic, practiced by Wu Yazi, and Xiao Wushang Kong, practiced by Li Chushui, are among them. The top management of the Zhang family was shocked. The Wang family had absolutely no idea that there was a Great Grandmaster level skill in Langguan Jade Cave. Otherwise, at the risk of offending Wu Yazi and Li Chushui, they would snatch it away by force. Zhang Feng secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, I was cut off by myself. Others include floating ripple microsteps, Tianshan Liuyang Palm, sound transmission soul searching technique, etc., including martial arts from various sects. The level of rarity is comparable to that of the Zhang family's current Sutra Pavilion collection. Marrying Wang Yuyan directly doubled the Zhang family's martial Dao background. No wonder mother said that if I'm sorry, Yuyan can't spare me. Zhang Feng shook his head and laughed. From now on, Wang Yuyan can walk sideways in the Zhang family. The only pity is that it combines the 2 heaven-level Great Grandmaster techniques, Beiming Divine Technique, and Little Wushang Technique. Primordial origin is still only at heaven level through the Great Grandmaster realm. The threshold between heaven level and divine level is huge. The quantity is still not enough. Wang family. Zhang Feng married Wang Yuyan and served Langguan Jade Cave in a pot, which made the Wang family resentful. At this time, in the Wang family's meeting hall, Wang Zongping looked angry. The Zhang family has gone too far to bully others. I wonder what the Wang family is waiting for. They have a powerful grandmaster, don't my Wang family have one? There are 2 grandmasters from the Zhang family, and I also have 2 grandmasters from the Wang family. If we really fight, who will be afraid of the other? It's just more money than my Wang family, so what's the use? It can't be exchanged for combat power in a short time. If the Zhang family is destroyed, the money from the Zhang family will belong to the Wang family. It will only be used to make wedding clothes for my Wang family. Wang Zongping tried his best to explain the benefits of dealing with the Zhang family. In his words, between the two families, the Zhang family has more money and more stamina, but it does not affect the fact that everyone is almost the same now. The Wang family was divided into two factions. One faction advocates war with the Zhang family, while the other favors negotiations between the two sides. Others are neutral. After Wang Zongping analyzed the strength of both sides, everyone felt that the difference seemed not that big. Those who originally supported the negotiations gradually became a little more relaxed. There are only two grandmasters in the Wang family. Zhang Zhenshin of the Zhang family and Zhang Junlong, the third son of the Zhang family, are also two grandmasters. Wang Ziyan, the ancestor of the Wang family, spoke slowly, I don't know if there is anything hidden secretly. If the grandmaster is hidden, his strength will be higher than that of my Wang family. Prince Quan, another grandmaster ancestor of the Wang family, analyzed, brother, among the 5 brothers and sisters of Zhang Zhenshin's generation, the second one is devoted to medicine. His strength should not be strong, and the probability of breaking through to grandmaster is not high. The fourth son, Zhang Zhenshin, has little presence in the Zhang family. It is said that he was seriously injured many years ago when he was wandering the world. Now he is probably retiring, so there is nothing to worry about. How strong can a woman like Lao Wei be? Zhang Cheng's generation has not grown up yet. Zhang Cheng himself is still lingering in innate, let alone others. If you look into the strength of the Zhang family, you won't be able to hide much. Wang Ziquanyi Spirit Ascension analyzed and said conservatively, of course, the Zhang family has been passed down for hundreds of years, and there may be some backups. At most, they can secretly cultivate another grandmaster. Wang Ziquan's analysis is well-founded and convincing. Wang Ziyan added, you only considered the Zhang family and not the Weizhou Hua family. The Hua family's strength is not inferior to the Zhang family. What should we do if the Hua family intervenes? The Wang family is already slightly weaker than the Zhang family, and the Wang family cannot afford to add another Hua family. The prince frowned, the two families are only related by in-laws. The Hua family won't interfere in the family war, right? We must prepare for a rainy day. Wang Ziyan shook his head and said, you can't place your hopes on the Hua family's ideas, they must be foolproof. Even if the Hua family doesn't intervene, my Wang family and the Zhang family will go head to head. Even if we win, we will suffer heavy losses. How can this matter be solved? You guys are thinking too simply. Family war is no joke. All details must be taken into consideration. Wang Ziyan spoke with sincerity. Brother is right. Wang Ziquan looked ashamed. Everyone opens up their minds, let's brainstorm ideas. Wang Ziyan waved his hand, carrying forward the democratic style. Everyone expressed their thoughts one by one. Uncle. Wang Zongping stood up. Zhongping, do you have an idea? If Wang Zongping didn't get things done this time, he can't be entirely blamed. Who would have thought that Zhang Laosan, the Grandmaster, would be gone? Crimes other than war. In order to conceal the scandal of being tricked by Zhang Feng, Wang Zongping did not mention Zhang Feng when he came back. The reason was put on Zhang Junlong, the Grandmaster. The people who went with him that day were all confidants, and the senior officials of the Wang family did not know that Wang Zongping was killed with one move. Let me talk about my thoughts first and sort out the direction of things. Wang Zongping talked eloquently. Whether the Zhang family has help or not, we must be prepared if the Zhang family has help. Try to overestimate the strength of the Zhang family. In this case, the Wang family must find allies, and the number of allies should be at least 2 grandmasters. In this direction, we will then screen out the forces that meet the requirements. What Wang Zongping said was reasonable and well-founded, and everyone listened to what he said. To win over power, you must give benefits. To deal with a family, you have to pay too much. Let the Wang family pay for it. Even if the Wang family can afford it, the family's wealth will be emptied. This is not advisable. Without waiting for anyone to ask, Wang Zongping's idea became clearer the more he spoke. Just because the Wang family can't afford the price doesn't mean we can't find help. The Zhang family is as rich as any country and has countless treasures. In addition, there are more treasures in the Langguan Jade Cave, so we are interested in the Zhang family. There are definitely a lot of forces. Let me calculate for you. The secret recipe for soap and perfume is 2 hens that can lay golden eggs. We will give you a secret recipe. Do you think this can be done? Wang Zongping scolded Fang Chu, feeling as if his gun and ore were being turned into ashes while talking and laughing. I am indeed more suitable for coordinating the overall situation. Wang Zongping's blood boiled and he found the galloping horse again. My heart was so hot that I wanted to have a fight with Shen Na's 8th concubine right away. With Zhang Ping's help, the Wang family will have nothing to worry about. Wang Xian's face was full of joy. Zhang Ping, is there a suitable force to choose? Wang Zongping looked full of planning. There really is a suitable candidate. Who? Wang Xian's eyes were burning. Huo Shu of Qingyi Tower. Wang Zongping introduced. Huo Shu is extremely powerful. With the help of him and Qingyi Tower, this matter can be accomplished. It is said that Huo Shu was just a mediocre independent cultivator decades ago. He founded Qingyi Building and accumulated huge wealth in just a few decades. Qingyi Tower is just a killer organization. It does not engage in business or production. Where does the huge wealth come from? Will Qingyi Tower not be tempted by the Zhang family's wealth? Wang Zongping asked questions one after another. The whereabouts of Qingyi Tower are secretive. Zhang Ping, do you know the stronghold of Qingyi Tower? Wang Zong, the head of the Wang family, asked. If he doesn't say a few words, he, the head of the family, will no longer have any sense of existence. This guy got all the limelight today. This made Wang Zong feel a little unhappy. Wang Zongping stroked his beard and smiled. I am not talented, but I accidentally found out about a stronghold in Qingyi Tower. I am willing to go there in person to convince Huo Shu. Good. Wang Xian slapped his thigh and said, Zhang Ping, I'll leave this matter to you. If you need any support, just ask Zhang He. Yes, uncle. 3 months passed unknowingly. Yun'er, how do you feel? After 3 courses of treatment, today is the last day, and Wang Yuyan's complexion is no different from ordinary people. Husband, I'm fine. Wang Yuyan covered her mouth and cried with joy. The innate deficiency that has been bothering me for more than 10 years is finally cured today. Li Qingluo couldn't help wiping away tears. Wang Yuyan's illness has always bothered her, but she finally saw the light of day. Zhang Feng patted her gently and smiled at Cheng Lingsu. Lingsu, you have worked hard these past few months. Cheng Lingsu's face turned slightly red and she whispered, it should be. Mr. Zhang, Yuyan's condition has recovered, and it's time for me to leave. Cheng Lingsu felt slightly reluctant to give up. Cheng Lingsu said goodbye, and Zhang Feng felt sad. 3 months of contact. He had a good impression of this smart, kind-hearted girl. I felt a little reluctant to give up for a moment. Wang Yuyan chuckled. Husband, Lingsu and I have something to say. You go and do your work first, right? Talk slowly. Lingsu, don't leave in a hurry. If you stay in the Zhang family for a while, I won't entertain you properly. Zhang Feng was stunned and took the initiative to persuade him to stay. If Cheng Ling left in a daze, he would definitely regret it in the future. Old men, take action when it's time to take action, no need to be coy. Wang Yuyan joked. Husband, leave it to me. I will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Cheng Lingsu looked red and didn't dare to look up. Zhang Feng secretly gave Wang Yuyan a thumbs up. What more can a husband ask for when his wife is like this? Li Qingluo left the room wisely. Lingsu. Wang Yuyan held Cheng Lingsu's hand. Cheng Lingsu lowered his head and did not dare to look at anyone. It was as if a fox stealing a chicken was caught by its owner. Tell me the truth, do you have any thoughts about your husband? Cheng Lingsu's face turned red and she quickly raised her head and said, Yu Yan, I will leave the Zhang family soon. You don't have to worry about me. Wang Yuyan said with a teasing look on her face, in other words, I do have ideas in this regard. Without waiting for Cheng Lingsu's reply, Wang Yuyan asked, Lingsu, do you want to marry into the Zhang family? Cheng Lingsu was stunned. Wang Yuyan looked serious. We sisters have known each other for such a long time. You should know what I am like. I am not a jealous person. If you are really interested in your husband, I fully support you in joining the Zhang family. Cheng Lingsu said calmly, you don't mind. It's not that I don't mind. Wang Yuyan shook her head. Cheng Lingsu's heart tightened. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Wang Yuyan explained. If it's a scheming woman who makes trouble, I would really mind. It's too late for me to be happy with you like this. It will be a good thing for you and your husband that you marry your husband. You don't have to worry about being inferior to others by marrying into the Zhang family. To tell you the truth, my husband has told me that he does not intend to marry a regular wife. It will be unfair to others after marrying a regular wife. If you are willing, marrying into the Zhang family will treat everyone equally. If you want to be superior to others, you would rather not marry. Wang Yuyan looked happy. I will listen to my sister's arrangements. Cheng Lingsu said softly. Since you call me sister, sister will handle this matter properly. When the Wang family planned the Zhang family, a storm was brewing within the Zhang family. Zhang Yan, how many people are involved in this matter? In the study room, Zhang Feng had his hands behind his back with an indifferent expression on his face. Zhang Yan is the grandson of the fourth grandfather, who is a few months younger than Zhang Feng. He has been trained in the secret guards and secretly monitors the formulas of perfume and soap to prevent leaks. Master, there are 12 people in charge of various lines involved in this matter. They secretly colluded with the Taihu gang. Fortunately, they were discovered in time and these people are all under the surveillance of secret guards. Zhang Yan's face was solemn and he reported the information he had investigated. There are quite a few people participating. No one from the Zhang family is participating, right? Zhang Feng said calmly. No one from the direct line did this, but 2 people from the collateral line were involved. Zhang Yan looked ugly and said angrily. They eat and drink from the Zhang family, but they still do things that harm the interests of the family. They should be killed. Our ancestor Zhang Fan had 3 brothers. After Zhang Fan became prosperous, he supported his brothers. Incorporating those 2 lines into the Zhang family is a collateral line of the family. The power of the family is controlled by direct descendants. The direct line of the Zhang family is not unkind to the people of the side line, and there is no shortage of resources for Yi Ying's cultivation. It is comparable to the 180 treatment of direct descendants of other families in Suzhou. And arrange them into various industries and were responsible for corresponding things. As the biggest beneficiary of the Zhang family, Zhang Feng's butt determines his head. For a family to grow and develop, it must have core interest groups. The Zhang family's business was inherited by our ancestor Zhang Fan. Direct and collateral lines cannot be exactly the same. When Zhang Feng was the heir to the family, there was a gap in treatment between his other brothers and him. A family cannot eat from the big pot, and wants the family to focus its resources on cultivation. Either the contribution to the family is large enough, or extraordinary talent. Family members, based on their cultivation, talent, age, etc., will have a large sum of money at their disposal every month to ensure sufficient resources for cultivation and a good life. There was a hint of chill in Zhang Feng's eyes. The Zhang family has developed so smoothly over the years that some people have forgotten the rules of the family. It has also made some people forget how the Zhang family developed, and they have lost awe in their hearts. Master, not only the side clan and the Taihu gang are involved in this matter, but even a mere Taihu gang dare not stroke my Zhang family's beard. No evidence of other Foss's involvement has been found yet, Zhang Yan analyzed based on intelligence. I remember that the Taihu gang is secretly supported by the Zhou family, right? Zhang Feng thought thoughtfully. The Zhou family is a grandmaster family, and there is a powerful grandmaster in the family. Evidence. Xiao Yan, your story is not too conservative. Zhang Feng laughed and immediately ordered. First arrest all the people involved in this matter in the factory and interrogate them severely. If the Taihu gang dares to reach out, they will chop off his claws. As for the Zhou family, do you think that having a grandmaster will mean you can sit back and relax? You are naive. No matter what evidence you want, suspicion is enough. Both sides have equal strength. Pay attention to the truth of the matter, and do everything according to the rules. The strength is not equal, whoever is stronger is the rule. The Zhou family thought that if they didn't come forward and arranged for Black Glove to come out to do things, the Zhang family wouldn't be able to catch anything. If we really want to deal with the Zhou family, we don't need any evidence. Suspicion is enough. When the Zhang family has reached this point, are they just little white rabbits that can only eat grass? The Zhang family became the richest family in Zhongnan and even the Song dynasty, which was paved with blood. A lot of things are just left in the dark. The Zhou family stretched out the knife themselves, so don't blame the Zhang family for cutting him. The Zhang family needs a bloody show to tell others not to stretch out your claws casually, someone will die. Yes, Patriarch, I will take action immediately. Zhang Yan's face turned red. After all, they are young people. The thought of starting a war brings excitement. I can't wait to pick up the sword and rush forward to throw it away. Master Zhou, the people at Yang's factory can't be contacted. In the study of the head of the Zhou family, a middle-aged man with scars on his face looked panicked. This person is Wan Pengcheng, the leader of the Taihu gang. He started out as an ordinary member of the Taihu gang. He is brave enough to fight and has great talent. The old Taihu gang leader, BCCJ, took a fancy to her and married her only daughter to him. After the old leader of the Taihu gang passed away, Wan Pengcheng successfully succeeded him as the leader. Not many people know that the backers behind the Taihu gang are the Zhou family. Caught, the head of the Zhou family, Zhou Shihao, was dressed in a brocade robe. He drank tea slowly and asked, "What's the current situation of the Zhang family?" Zhou Shihao's style made Wan Pengcheng feel a little more at ease. All the people I sent out to contact the Zhang family have disappeared. In all likelihood, they were arrested by the Zhang family. The Taihu gang does not have a grandmaster to support its appearance. Facing a grandmaster family like the Zhang family, they cannot be as calm as the Zhou family. Wan Pengcheng had a trace of worry on his face. This matter won't involve us, right? A strange look flashed in Zhou Shihao's eyes, and he consoled him, "Relax. The Zhang family has to follow rules when doing things. So, you go back and wait for the news first, and I will arrange for someone to investigate." Wan Pengcheng was overjoyed. "I'm sorry to bother you, Master Zhou." Not long after Wan Pengcheng left, the head of the Zhou family ordered in the dark, "Mr. He, get rid of Wan Pengcheng." A voice came from the dark. "Yes, the head of the family. The Taihu gang has been exposed, and this chess piece must be discarded." Zhou Shihao was thinking in his heart. Even if the Zhang family knew about the relationship between the Taihu gang and the Zhou family, they couldn't provide any evidence. Abandoning the chess piece Wan Pengcheng is enough to show the sincerity of the Zhou family. The Zhang family should stop here. The war between the two grandmaster families would do more harm than good to the Zhang family. Zhou Shihao hummed a little tune and had everything under control. Zhang family, punishment hall. Zhang Feng issued an arrest order, and Zhang Yan vigorously arrested all those involved in the matter. Under severe torture to extract confessions, several more people were implicated. On the high platform, because it involves people from the Zhang family. Grandfather Zhang Zhenshan, third grandfather Zhang Zhenlong, father Zhang Cheng, and second uncle Zhang Heng. As well as several powerful innate men from the family's branches, the heads of various industries were all summoned. The second grandfather Zhang Zhenyu, the fourth grandfather Zhang Zhenchen, and the aunt Zhang Zhen are paying attention secretly. For Grandpa Zhang Feng's generation, Zhang Zhenshan, as the head of the family, has attracted most of the outside world's attention. Zhang Zhenlong is responsible for the family's charge and it is difficult to hide it. The second, fourth and fifth children are hidden in the dark and extremely low-key. Under the high platform, a group of people were kneeling neatly, their faces were ashen, and their expressions were frightened. Zhang Yue, have the Zhang family treated you badly these years? Zhang Heng scolded. Your cultivation talent is not good. I put you in charge of the perfume factory. The job is easy and the salary is generous. But you leak the essence extraction process. How can you live with dignity? And you, Zhang Yudao, you are responsible for the purchase of flowers. Not only do you secretly take kickbacks, but you are so lustful that a little Oran can make you leak the purchasing data. Is this how you treat the Zhang family's trust? Quote. As the person in charge of the factory, Zhang Heng cannot escape the blame for such a big mistake. At first, it was for the sake of being a member of the Zhang family. He takes great care of those around him. Unexpectedly, reality slapped him hard. If the secret guards hadn't noticed, he would have been the sinner of the Zhang family. Master, please forgive me for the fact that you have worked hard for the Zhang family for so many years without any merit. Zhang Yue cried bitterly, thinking that he had done it perfectly, but he never expected it to be leaked so quickly. I felt regretful in my heart. I don't know whether he regrets betraying the Zhang family's interests or regrets being caught. Master, I have violated the family rules. I pled guilty and ask the master not to implicate other people. Zhang Yudao's face was full of bitterness. Purchasing flowers is a bad job and is touted by various suppliers. Under the flattery of some people, he lost his way and put down his guard. Only now did he wake up. He is a martial artist who has not yet arrived at innate. Why should he let a strong innate or even a strong grandmaster submit to him at all costs? It's not because he is great, but because he is the person in charge of purchasing flowers for the Zhang family. Without the Zhang family, it would be nothing. Master, it was Zhang Yue who asked me to provide the data on the fragrance ratio. I was wrong. Zhang Yue threatened the lives of my family members, so I had to comply. Each and every person who was arrested either cried out that they were wronged or bit him. Several descendants of the Zhang family, innate, looked ugly. The arrest of 2 collateral factions affected the image of the entire collateral faction. Most of the people from the sidelines are sympathizing with the Zhang family. Without the support of ancestor Zhang Fan back then, the 2 of them might still be farming at home. There are also some people who are dissatisfied and think that if the direct line does not occupy more resources, does the collateral line need to be corrupt? These people only dare to hide their dark thoughts in their hearts. No one else on the high platform spoke. Zhang Feng is the head of the family, so he has to make the decision on this matter. After the facts were basically investigated, Zhang Feng slowly said, the state has state laws, and families have family rules. Uncle Tiger, how should we handle this according to family rules? Zhang Hu is the son of the 3rd grandfather, Zhang Zhenlong, and is responsible for the family punishment hall. The head of the family, Zhang Yue, took the initiative to reveal the important secrets of the family and should have been executed. However, if we do not kill those who have not stained their hands with the blood of the clan members, they will serve as members of the family's death squad and will not rest until death. Zhang Yudao's corruption is true. He inadvertently revealed the secrets of the clan. According to the clan rules, he was stripped of his status as a manager and demoted to the company's guard team. Li Jun, leaked family secrets, sentenced to death. Lu Hua was threatened by Zhang Yue, which is pitiable. However, he did not report the matter to his family, did not report the knowledge, and used it to mine in the family mine for 20 years. According to the Zhang family rules, Zhang Hu sentenced the person who committed the crime. According to the rules of the Zhang family, no one with the surname Zhang will kill anyone who has not touched the blood of his own family members. It was to leave a ray of hope for all clan members and avoid civil strife within the family. Others are less forgiving. If you take the initiative to leak secrets, you will die. Among those arrested, except for Zhang Yue and Zhang Yudao and the 2 others who had committed the most minor crimes, a dozen others were all executed. It's not fair, it's not fair. Why not suffer the same fate but suffer the same fate? I don't accept it. The Zhang family's verdict is unfair. After Zhang Hu finished speaking, those who were sentenced to death began to cry out for injustice under the threat of death. Zhang Yue's face was ashen. The Zhang family death squadron does the most dangerous things in the family. Some things have to be done by someone. Some people who have made mistakes but cannot be executed will be recruited into the death squad to exert their last remaining strength for the Zhang family. Zhang Yudao breathed a sigh of relief. His crime was minimal. Corruption and receiving some kickbacks will not lead to death. The leaking of secrets was indeed not intentional. He was driven by lust and was just tricked. Although it is a bit hard to join the Zhang family guards to do business, it is at least much better than losing your freedom and waiting to die alive. Zhang Yudao kowtowed and thanked. Thank you very much for your family's tolerance. I will definitely take this as a warning and never violate family rules again. Zhang Feng waved his hand. That's the verdict. People from the punishment hall swarmed up and dragged the kneeling person down. Master, please spare my life, I was wrong. Master, I don't dare to do it anymore. There was a trace of gratitude on the faces of the people on the sidelines. For others, leaking secrets leads to death. With 2 people on side, there is more chance of survival. Especially Zhang Yudao, the family did not completely abandon him. Zhang Feng saw the expressions of the people nearby. It turns out that he didn't understand the different punishments for different people in the family. This is obviously unfair. The longer he integrates into this world, the more he gradually understands the meaning of these rules. In short, an innate master is treated equally as an ordinary person. Which innate master is willing to follow you? There is no difference between the direct line and the collateral line. How can the direct line be condensed into one rope? There is no difference between the collateral clan and outsiders. How can the collateral clan safeguard the interests of the Zhang family? In the final analysis, the direct line of the Zhang family is the core team, the collateral lines are the middle managers, and the children of other families and those they have trained since childhood are the foundation of the Zhang family. Workers hired from outside, proper workers. In essence, the operating rules are no different from those in the previous life. If he hadn't sat in the position of the head of the family, he would still be looking at things in the fog and not be able to see clearly. Asterisk 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 asterisk. It is only from this position that I understand that this kind of rule is not necessarily the best, but it is relatively the most stable. Zhang Cheng watched Zhang Feng handle family affairs with a look of relief. When he succeeded as the head of the family, he wanted to kill everyone who betrayed the interests of the family, no matter who they were. After being taught by Zhang Feng and his grandfather, I slowly understood. Just killing will not solve the problem. As the head of the family, you need to have an overview of the overall situation and deal with problems from the perspective of the entire family. Zhang Feng did better than he did back then. Just after handling the leak, the secret guard came in and reported, the head of the family, Wan Pengcheng, the leader of the Taihu gang, was killed. Before he was killed, he went to the Zhou family. Zhang Feng thought for a moment. Wan Pengcheng was regarded as an abandoned son by the Zhou family. This is for my Zhang family to see. Okay, you go down. Zhang Feng waved his hand. Fenger, no matter what you plan to do, third grandpa will support you. Zhang Junlong's eyes were burning with a hint of expectation. As the number one person in charge of the Zhang family, he can be found wherever there is fighting. Grandpa San can get his wish. Zhang Feng joked. Ahem. Zhang Junlong coughed in embarrassment. Is my purpose so obvious? Zhang Feng said seriously. The Zhou family made the wrong decision this time. The Zhang family has been too low-key these years, which inevitably makes people think that the Zhang family is a fat sheep. It makes some people think that they are good enough to test the bottom line of the Zhang family. This time, we will operate on the Zhou family to warn the outside world. The Zhou family came up with the idea of my Zhang family's perfume first, and my Zhang family is also known as a master. Let others know that our Zhang family can make money and do business with qi. If we touch the bottom line, we can turn into a jackal in an instant. The strength of the two families was so far apart that Zhang Feng's words directly sentenced the Zhou family to death. Zhang Zhenshan sneered. Yes, my Zhang family also needs to improve its presence from time to time. It's not enough to just be a good guy, it makes people feel easy to bully. Zhang Junlong asked for a fight. Leave the Zhou family to me. I have long disliked that old boy from the Zhou family. He thinks he is on the same level as me. Well, I'll go with third grandpa to avoid any accidents. Although I don't think much of the Zhou family, I despise the enemy strategically and cannot pay too much attention to them tactically. There are countless examples of underestimating the enemy leading to heavy losses. You are stronger than me, and you can hold the battle secretly, but that old boy from the Zhou family, you can't compete with me. Zhang Junlong spoke quickly. Of course, Grandpa San will be the main spoon. Chapter 61. Dong 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 dong. The war drums beat, and the sound spread throughout the Zhang family. A special training ground in the Zhang family. When the people in the arena heard the sound of drums, their eyes lit up and they gathered towards the martial arts arena. In just 1 minute, a team of 500 people lined up neatly and quickly assembled. The first team of the war hall should have 50 people, but there are actually 50 people. The assembly is complete. The second team of the war hall should have 50 people, but there are actually 50 people. The assembly is complete. The war hall is the main force of the Zhang family in external battles, and each member has experienced hundreds of battles. Reporting to the head of the family, there should be 500 people in the war hall, but there are actually 500 people. Please give instructions. The war hall leader Hu Sha shouted loudly. Return. Yes, martial arts arena. Zhang Feng and Zhang Junlong stood at the front of the team. How's it going? Feng 67-0. The battle hall is quite impressive, isn't it? Zhang Long said with a proud face. The war hall was built by him, with strict discipline and blood on everyone's hands. He made great contributions to the Zhang family's expansion of trade routes. There are a fixed number of 500 people in the war hall, and the fittest will survive. Those who are eliminated do not mean that they are weak, but that they are replaced by stronger ones. After being eliminated, they will join the Zhang family guard team. Used to guard the mansion, or to follow the caravan and escort the caravan. Many caravan guard captains are retired from the war hall. There are a total of 10 teams in the war hall, each team has 50 people, and the captains are all mid-level innate masters. Every 10 people are divided into a team, and they are all innate masters. The team members are all third-grade masters. These are the official team members, and there are thousands of reserve forces who have been training. The only requirement for a reserve player to become a regular player is to defeat a regular player and replace him. If a formal player defeats a squad leader, he can become the squad leader, and so on. There is a challenge opportunity every month. Therefore, the competition in the war hall is fierce. As a result, everyone in the battle hall became fighting madmen. The leader of the war hall, Hu Sha, is a master of the innate late stage. He has gathered 2 flowers and can be regarded as a top genius in the entire world. Among the direct descendants of the Zhang family, there are only 2 ancestors who can condense the double flowers, Zhang Feng's grandfather and aunt, and Zhang Cheng, who has just condensed the essence flower. There were only 5 people in total. This shows how talented Hu Sha is. There are more than 50 innate masters in the war hall, which is an extremely terrifying number. At the beginning, the total number of innate masters from the 4 major families in Hangzhou was only 70 or 80. Those 70 or 80 people combined may not be able to defeat the Zhang family's war hall. In addition, the number of reserve forces in the battle hall is astonishing, and the potential is unlimited. Good. Zhang Feng did not hesitate to praise. Third Grandpa, you are more familiar with the war hall, please give the order. Okay, old man, I'll give the order. Zhang Junlong looked at this group of war-minded members of the war hall and shouted loudly, you guys, you are just destroying a small family today, you don't need so many people. After listening to Zhang Junlong's words, the faces of the people in the war hall showed a hint of disappointment. Ranked first in meritorious service in the war hall. Everyone wants to take a sip of soup. However, there are too many strong people and there is not enough to eat. Tiger, kill and obey the order. Zhang Junlong ordered. Tiger is here. You personally lead the first detachment to destroy the Taihu gang, and you must ensure that you can reduce the number of troops. Yes, guaranteed to complete the mission. Hu Sha responded. A small Taihu gang dispatched the first detachment with the strongest overall strength. If they could not complete the mission without damage, he would just crash and die in the martial arts field. The eyes of everyone in the first team shone brightly. The Taihu gang is a bit weak, good teeth can satisfy your cravings. The other teams looked at the first team with envy. Detachment 6, Detachment 9, obey the order. Zhang Junlong continued to speak. Yes, the 2 squad leaders had serious expressions, but they could not hide the joy in their eyes. When the others heard this, they looked disappointed and said, it's over, I have no share this time. Zhang Junlong did not arrange it casually. First of all, make sure to crush your opponents while trying not to expose too much strength. Secondly, ensure that each detachment takes turns in combat missions to exercise the life and death fighting ability of the war hall. Follow me to destroy the Zhou family. Yes. The task of destroying forces is the most popular among the people in the war hall. When a force is destroyed, the Zhang family will use 30% of the proceeds as rewards for those who participate in the war. In addition, there are merit points that can be used to redeem the exercises in Sutra Pavilion. At the beginning, the Zhang family only had the Xuanhai Jing, a Grandmaster level technique. Not included in the redemption list. Since then, he has developed several great Grandmaster level techniques. The Zhang family added all the original Junhai clan exercises, Zanhai Jing, including the Grandmaster level exercises captured by Zhang Feng, to the exchange list. With better skills, the people in the war hall are more eager to fight. The great Grandmaster level skills are very relevant, and the Zhang family has not produced them yet. In addition to military exploits and ability, the most important thing is loyalty. Loyalty is the most difficult to test. Fortunately, these people have been trained by the Zhang family since childhood, and their basic loyalty has skyrocketed. After cultivating to the Grandmaster realm, one must stay in the Zhang family for decades. Decades are enough to show a person's loyalty. Currently, the only outsider who has obtained the Great Grandmaster technique is Grandpa Qi. His loyalty to the Zhang family has stood the test of time. The Zhang family currently has 4 Great Grandmaster techniques: Nine Yang Manual, Beiming Divine Skill, Small Wushang Skill, and Thousand-Faced Poison Sutra. The first 3 volumes are all heaven level, and the Thousand Faces of Poison Sutra can be regarded as the top earth level technique. Several heaven level exercises each have their own characteristics. Nine Yang Manual has the strongest combat power at its level, but its only flaw is that it is not suitable for women's practice. There are 2 theories about the origin of Nine Yang Manual. One theory is that a man named Duju Monk read Nine Yin Sutra, written by Huang Shang. I felt that the yin energy was too strong and was not suitable for men to practice, so I went in the opposite direction based on the Nine Yin Sutra, and created the Nine Yin Sutra. Another saying is, Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism in China, studied heaven and man. He created 3 scriptures, Yi Jin Sutra, Marrow Cleansing Sutra, and Nine Yang Sutra, as the highest inheritance of Zen Buddhism. Zhang Feng didn't know the specific source. Small Wushang Kung Fu is a multi-purpose bomb technique. The true Qi cultivated is powerful, only slightly less powerful than the Nine Yang true scripture. This skill has no form and cannot be traced. As long as you have this skill and know the moves of other martial arts, you can imitate other people's unique skills, or even surpass the original version, making it impossible for people to distinguish. In fact, it is the best method to frame people and blame others when traveling at home, and its value is not much lower than that of the Nine Yang Manual. Among the 3 heaven-level techniques, only the Beiming Divine Technique is not very well received. Beiming Divine Art has obvious advantages. It can absorb the true Qi of others and turn it into one's own cultivation. Theoretically, as long as there are enough masters for people to absorb, great grandmasters can be cultivated in batches. However, Zhang Feng, who had fully comprehended the Beiming Divine Art, knew. Compared with the first 2 techniques, Beiming Divine Technique has the biggest flaws. There is a balance between heaven and earth, and there are not so many things that can be gained for nothing. Everyone's true Qi has a personal stamp. Beiming Sheng Gong absorbs other people's skills and can seemingly completely refine them and make them your own. In fact, in areas invisible to the naked eye, true Qi becomes complicated. Zhang Feng estimated that this problem should exist regardless of whether it is a star-absorbing method or a power-absorbing method. This level of skills cannot yet solve the microscopic level. The legendary celestial human realm, the unity of heaven and man, purifies itself. The skills absorbed from others belong to others after all. There is no other solution. Beiming Shen Gong has almost cut off its path when it reaches the peak of Great Grandmaster. For many people, this is not a flaw. Most martial artists spend their entire lives wandering in the postnatal realm, while the innate realm is out of reach. How many can break through the celestial human realm? Beiming Divine Skill is far more valuable than the other 2 heaven-level skills to people with ordinary talents. For people with amazing talents and a firm determination to seek the path, Beiming Sheng Gong is useless. The system incorporates the Beiming Divine Art, which adds the effect of absorbing the spiritual power of heaven and earth. Using heaven and earth as the object of absorption, there is no future trouble, which greatly increases his cultivation speed. Zhang Feng told several ancestors about the characteristics of Beiming Divine Art, to prevent them from taking shortcuts. After several discussions, the opinions were unanimous. Except for my aunt who chose the Little Wushang Kung Fu, the others all chose the Nine Yang Manual. People who are direct descendants of the Zhang family are not allowed to practice the Beiming Divine Art unless their talent is really poor. Although Beiming Shen Gong has great flaws. For a force, it may be more important than the other 2 techniques. Just the fact that the Great Grandmaster is produced in batches is enough to make people's eyes wet. Zhang Feng dismissed the other 7 detachments in the war hall. Hu Sha led a detachment to the Taihu gang's base. Zhang Feng and Zhang Junlong took the 3rd and 9th teams to Zhou's house. Everyone in the war hall wears special masks. Every time they perform a mission, outsiders don't know how many strong men there are. Usually, 1 or 2 teams are enough to perform tasks. For larger tasks, 1 team is enough to solve them. This is the first time that the Zhang family has dispatched 3 teams at the same time. A dozen innate masters are not high profile. In the battle between the 2 families, no one has experienced it all. More than a dozen innates, very reasonable, right? When outsiders think they have figured out the details of the Zhang family, the results will definitely leave them stunned. The people in the war hall were walking on the road with a solemn expression. The faces of people in Suzhou were filled with wonder. The Zhang family battle hall is not only well known to everyone in Suzhou, but it is definitely famous. Is the Zhang family going to war against any force? I haven't heard of anyone who has angered the Zhang family recently. My sister-in-law's cousin works in the Zhongjia factory. I heard that the factory has been under martial law for the past 2 days and someone has betrayed the secret of Zhongjia perfume. Hiss. This is true. No wonder the Zhang family has such a big reaction. Perfume is the lifeblood of the Zhang family. They are impatient. If there is enough profit, there will always be people who take desperate risks. Taking action on the core interests of the Zhang family means life and death. The war hall's dispatch caused various speculations, but it did not cause riots. The Zhang family battle hall never bullies the weak, and even the Zhang family members are not allowed to bully ordinary people in Suzhou City. If you are bullied, you don't have to go to the yamen, it's better to go to the Zhang family. The Zhang family will make the decision for you and even compensate you. Once upon a time, a young master from the Zhang family fell in love with someone else's daughter-in-law, and the overlord took advantage of her. The woman was humiliated by the Taoist family and committed suicide. The owner held his wife's body and blocked the door of Yang's house. I want to see if the Zhang family's family tradition is as rumored. At that time, Zhang Cheng, the head of the Zhang family, confirmed that this group belonged to the pressure. In front of countless onlookers, he castrated the collateral young master and expelled him from the Zhang family. The victim was compensated with 1,000 taels of silver on the spot and arranged to work in Yang's factory to prevent his money from being coveted. After this incident, the Zhang family's reputation is at its peak in Suzhou and is well known by everyone. Don't underestimate a little good word of mouth. As long as the price of Yang's trading company's goods is not more expensive than others, many people would rather walk a few more steps to shop at your store. Moreover, the onlookers subconsciously thought that it was someone else who had offended the Zhang family, rather than the Zhang family taking the initiative to cause trouble. The Zhang family headed towards the Zhou family, and someone finally guessed their destination. Hiss. Is it the Zhou family planning the Zhang family's perfume? Someone said in surprise. There is only one Grand Master in the Zhou family, how dare he? The latest news is that in addition to going to the Zhou family, the Zhang family war hall also has a team of people going to the Taihu gang. Someone got the news and spread it immediately. The Taihu gang is not a good guy. They bully and dominate the market and do all kinds of evil. The Zhang family is doing justice to God. An old man with a wrinkled face clapped his hands with joy. Suzhou is the base camp of the Zhang family, but the Zhang family did not secretly set up a gang in Suzhou. If you secretly control a gang, clues will eventually appear over time. The Zhang family still attaches great importance to local reputation. In addition, there is one more gang and one less gang in Suzhou, which is of no importance at all. Why dirty your hands? The Taihu gang is indeed not a good thing. The brother-in-law of a friend of mine lost all his money in the casino run by the Taihu gang and everyone disappeared, which shows how many crimes the Taihu gang secretly did. Someone said mysteriously. You don't know, the Taihu gang is secretly controlled by the Zhou family. Hiss. This is true. Of course it's true. There is no shortage of powerful grandmasters in Suzhou. Why would a gang without a grandmaster be so arrogant? There is someone behind it. Another well-informed person added. No wonder the Zhang family is dealing with the Zhou family and the Taihu gang at the same time. These two are the same species. I heard that the leader of the Taihu gang seemed to have been killed. So you've heard about it too, so there's nothing wrong with this. Do you think it was the Zhang family that did it? No, the Zhang family will go to the Taihu gang now. There is no need to go to the trouble of assassinating him in advance. No need to guess, it must be the Zhou family's hand. Aren't they in the same group? Will the Zhou family kill their own people? You don't understand how a big family behaves. The Zhou family arranged for the Taihu gang to steal the Zhang family's perfume secrets. When it was revealed, the Zhou family killed people to silence them in order to clear up their relationship. I don't know if there are really so many smart people in the world, or if someone has arranged smart people in advance. Anyway, the Zhang family did not announce anything to the outside world, and some smart people restored everything based on some small signs. In short, the Zhang family is the little white rabbit who has been wronged, and the Yuan family is the big bad wolf that stares covetously. This matter, it's all the Zhou family's fault. The Zhang family had no choice. You have been wrong so much that you still don't want to resist. Others understood. The analysis makes so much sense. This is absolutely the truth. Let's go and see together. Many people followed the team and arrived outside the Zhou family's mansion. The war hall was in the shape of a fan, blocking the door of Zhou's house. Old man Zhou, get out of here. Zhang Junlong yelled at the Zhou family's mansion. A figure flew out from the backyard of the Zhou family, with a pale face, and confronted Zhang Junlong. Zhang Junlong, what do you mean by leading people to surround my Zhou family? Old man, stop pretending to be innocent. If you dare to do something, just do it. Why, you dare to take advantage of my Zhang family perfume, and now you are pretending to be a little white flower and a mud horse. Zhang Junlong snarled unceremoniously. In his eyes, this old man of the Zhou family was already a dead man. How could a dead man give him face? When the onlookers heard Zhang Junlong's words, they looked as if this was true. The ancestor of the Zhou family was furious, with a look of injustice on his face. Zhang Junlong, don't slander others, you must provide evidence for what you said. Ha, evidence. Zhang Junlong sneered. You think that if the Zhou family silences Wan Pengcheng, the things you do will be unnoticed. Without evidence, I, the Zhang family, would have taken such a big risk to start a war with your Zhou family. War must be justified. No matter what the truth is, you must package yourself as a party that holds righteousness. This is related to the reputation of the Zhang family. Reputation is something that cannot be seen or touched, but it is extremely important. If your reputation is good enough, some people will be unhappy with you and can only target you secretly. Therefore, reputation can sometimes be a talisman. The Zhang family didn't have any evidence, so just in case, they temporarily produced a piece of evidence. No matter what the evidence is, the Zhou family will not admit it. Isn't it normal for a family that steals other people's property not to admit it? As long as I say the evidence is true, it's useless if you don't admit it. A family that steals other people's property has no credibility in what they say and does not admit it because it is sophistry. Zhang Junlong looked confident with the evidence in hand. Ancestor Zhou's heart skipped a beat. The Zhang family had come prepared. This matter might be difficult to solve. The Zhou family is no match for the Zhang family, and the Zhang family would find it unbearable if they thought they would both die together. The Zhang family came here, probably because they wanted an explanation and some compensation. That's all. This time the Zhou family is in trouble, so it's a mistake. Old ancestor Zhou sighed in his heart. Zhang Junlong, if the Zhou family fights to the death, they will all be destroyed. The Zhang family will not be able to bear the consequences. Why don't we sit down and talk? Ancestor Zhou was confident that the Zhang family would not dare to start a war without authorization. Well, the aristocratic families just compromise with each other. The question is, does the Zhou family have the strength to make the Zhang family compromise? Zhang Junlong looked angry. Old man, you stole the Zhang family's secret recipe, and now you want to solve the matter with a few words. You really think that I, the Zhang family, are a weakling? It's too much to bully others. You and I will fight to the death. Zhang Junlong, with an aggrieved look on his face, took action directly. Who said Zhang Junlong was a reckless man with thick eyebrows and big eyes? In fact, there are 800 thoughts in my heart. Boom. The two of them exchanged palms out of thin air, and old ancestor Zhou took a few steps back in midair. Zhang Junlong, do you really want to fight to the death? Old ancestor Zhou looked horrified. My sons, kill me. Zhang Junlong gave the order. When the people in the war hall heard the signal to start the war, they rushed into the Zhou family one by one. Things were beyond Zhou Laozu's control, and he finally stopped taking chances. He finally saw it. The Zhang family had no intention of negotiating with the Zhou family, but came with the intention of exterminating the clan. Old man Zhang, you are looking for death. Ancestor Zhou's aura suddenly reached the Grandmaster late stage, which was equivalent to Zhang Junlong's cultivation level. Every move bursts out with astonishing power. During this time, several ancestors of the Zhang family changed their main practice to the Nine Yang manual, and their strength greatly increased. Originally, Zhang Junlong was slightly stronger than the ancestor of the Zhou family, not to mention the heaven-level technique. In order to keep it secret, Zhang Junlong restrained himself a little. Even so, he, who had practiced the heaven-level technique, was suppressing the ancestor of the Zhou family in fighting. The ancestor of the Zhou family was shocked. When did Zhang Junlong's strength increase so much? Moreover, true qi contains an extremely yang energy, which is obviously not the Zanhai Jing, the Zhang family's clan-suppressing technique. He was defeated steadily by Zhang Junlong, and he didn't have time to think about it so much. People from the war hall rushed into Zhou's house and killed them indiscriminately. The ancestor of the Zhou family used a large amount of the family's resources for himself. In the entire Zhou family, except for him, there is only one Grandmaster late stage, not to mention the Grandmaster early stage, and even the innate masters only have 8 people. Not to mention comparing with the Zhang family, this background is far worse than the 4 major families in Hangzhou. One by one, innate masters were killed by the Zhang family battle hall. The ancestor of the Zhou family had a look of despair on his face, as if we were all going to die together. Zhang Junlong, if you want to destroy my Zhou family, I will not make it easy for you even if I die. It looked like it was going to blow itself up. The true qi liquid in Grandmaster's body has condensed huge energy. Once it self-destructs, it is much more powerful than a full blow. A Grandmaster late-stage self-destruction is enough to kill the strongest Grandmaster. Zhang Junlong's face had a rare look of solemnity. Secretly run the technique with all your strength. Unexpectedly, a dramatic scene occurred. The ancestor of the Zhou family pretended to die together, but turned around and fled away. Not only Zhang Junlong was stunned, the eyes of the onlookers fell to the ground. This is the first time I have seen such a hypocritical and fearful ancestor. I was filled with contempt in my heart. Zhang Junlong quickly chased after him and left a message to Zhang Feng. Fenger, I leave this place to you. If you let that old man escape, you will be in big trouble. Ah, do not kill me. Help, I'll fight you. Walking into the Zhou family, the people in the war hall brandished their long knives and brutally slaughtered the people of the Zhou family. The people of the Zhou family rose up to resist, but their hard power was far inferior to that of the war hall. With the cooperation of the war hall, they were as vulnerable as an egg hitting a stone. Seeing his clan members fall in front of him one by one, Zhou Shihao, the head of the Zhou family, was filled with grief and anger, losing the calmness of having everything under control. He came up with the plan to steal Yang's formula. Now that the Zhou family has its own perfume, like the Zhang family, they can make money every day and become the top family in Suzhou, Zhongnan, and even the Song dynasty. Lard has blinded my heart. You thought that the Zhang family had no evidence and that there was nothing you could do against him. Who would have thought that others would not reason with you at all? Zhou Shihao felt a trace of regret in his heart. After all, this world must rely on fists to speak. Whether it is reasonable or not, the strong man has the final say. Kill them all. Zhou Shihao was filled with self-blame in his heart. He was responsible for the genocide of the Zhou family. He just wanted to kill a few more Zhang family members to repent for himself, so he rushed towards the 10 war hall members with his long sword in advance. Your opponent is me. He Ping, captain of the 3rd team, blocked Zhou Shihao's way with a knife. There are only 8 innates in the Zhou family. The 2 captains of the war hall did not take action, but supported the situation from the side. Zhou Shihao has reached the peak of innate's midterm cultivation, and his strength is extremely impressive. He Ping is also the midterm peak of innate. The 2 of them are in similar realms. The Zhou family's inherited technique is called Yinshan Kung Fu, which is a profound level grandmaster technique. He Ping practiced the Xuanhai Jing, the Earth-level clan's previous exercise, and his true chi transformed into Xuanhai true chi continuously. As the head of the family, Zhou Shihao has been in a high position for a long time and rarely fights with life and death. He Ping and the people in the war hall were in battle every day. Not long after the fight, Zhou Shihao was suppressed by He Ping. Why are you targeting my Zhou family? Why are you killing them all? Zhou Shihao collapsed. Is it so difficult to kill a member of the Zhang family? God, you didn't even give me a chance to atone for my sins. Zhou Shihao's moves were messy and he was losing ground. HMPH. I blame the Zhou family for making the wrong decision, He Ping said coldly. He was originally an orphan in Kun County. His family fell into decline and he became a beggar. In order to have 3 meals a day, he fights with wild dogs for food and other beggars for garbage cans. Until one day, the Zhang family adopted orphans and took care of their food and drink. He took a chance. With his outstanding talent and hard work, he stood out from the Zhang family training team. Step by step, he became a reserve member of the war hall, a regular member, a squad leader, and finally the squad leader today. All I wanted that day was 3 meals a day. The Zhang family gave him good food and clothing, and even gave him a chance to get ahead. The Zhang family trained them to fight for the family, which actually made him feel at ease. Useless people have nothing to eat. He understood this when he was competing with wild dogs for food. He Ping was very grateful to the Zhang family and felt a sense of belonging. He is willing to become a knife for the Zhang family. Wherever the Zhang family's blade hits, that's where he will trample, and he will die without regrets. The Zhou family dared to covet the Zhang family, and they were willing to die. Taking advantage of Zhou Shihao's mental collapse, He Ping knocked off his long sword with a single blow. In a hurry, Zhou Shihao had no time to resist the slashing blade. He straightened his arms and the long knife struck his hands with an astonishing cold light. FBI. Ah! A flash of cold light flashed, and Zhou Shihao's hands suddenly broke off. He Ping made a clean backhand strike, and a round head flew into the air. Zhou Shihao's consciousness gradually blurred. I am dead. The Zhou family is finished. Boom! A dead head fell to the ground. He Ping didn't even look at it. He stood aside and supported the others. The people in the war hall attacked cleanly and neatly, like killing machines. Half an hour later, except for the old, weak, women and children, all the masters of the Zhou family who were in the middle 3 grades and above were all killed. The remaining dozen or so old, weak, women and children all knelt on the ground. Before the people in the battle hall could take action, Zhang Feng waved his hand to signal to stop. Leave my child alone, he is only 3 years old. A woman wearing gold and silver, holding a 3-year-old child in her arms, was kneeling on the ground. The child looked at Zhang Feng with hatred. Alas, 2 families are at war. How innocent are the old, weak, women and children. Their crimes will not lead to death. Zhang Feng sighed with compassion on his face. Please leave. I hope you will forget your hatred and be a good person. Be a good person. Zhang Feng looked like he couldn't bear it. Quote. He Ping couldn't help but want to say something. Zhang Feng waved his hand and interrupted what he wanted to say. He Ping knew that he had gone too far. In previous battles, he had always tried to eradicate the enemy by cutting the grass and roots. He really had the intention of cutting the grass and roots. Yes. After the head of the family made a decision, he stopped trying to persuade him. Thank you very much, Master Zhang. I will teach my children to be good people and forget hatred. The woman covered the child's eyes for fear that her eyes would offend Zhang Feng. Quote. That's all. Zhang Feng sighed. The Zhang family is based on benevolence and righteousness. Although the Zhou family made a mistake this time, the Zhang family had to do it. However, the Zhou family was eventually destroyed by the Zhang family. He Ping, take 5,000 taels of silver and give it to her, so that the orphans and widows will not survive. Yes, head of the family. He Ping said with cupped hands. Although he didn't understand Zhang Feng's intention, he didn't have any doubts. The woman kowtowed to thank her, took the banknote, and quickly left the Zhou family with the remaining dozen or so old, weak, women and children. The onlookers saw the tragic situation of the Zhou family and felt a little unbearable. Seeing what Zhang Feng did, they all said, the head of the Zhang family is upright and does not make things difficult for orphans and widows. Master Zhang is too kind. Isn't this going to cause trouble for the Zhang family? The fault for this matter lies with the Zhou family. If the Zhou family hadn't been greedy, how could our family be ruined? After all, the Zhou family has left behind blood. If it were someone else, I'm afraid they wouldn't be able to survive. The Zhou family is unfortunate and lucky. Unfortunately, it provokes the Zhang family. Fortunately, the king's luck is that it is the Zhang family that provokes them. As everyone discussed, they gradually became less sympathetic to the tragic situation of the Zhou family. What they don't know is, 3 months later, when no one was paying attention to the Zhou family, a group of thieves heard that the Zhang family had left 5,000 taels of silver notes to the orphans and widows of the Zhou family, robbed them, and brutally murdered them. This matter has nothing to do with the Zhang family. After the war, the eyes of the people in the war hall shone brightly. Isn't the most exciting part of contact the search for property? Go ahead, try not to damage the room. The Zhou family's property will belong to the Zhang family from now on. Zhang Feng still cherishes his own property. This is the rule of the Song dynasty. Aristocratic families are not considered ordinary people. When aristocratic families go to war, fighting life and death, as long as it does not affect the people, the government will not care. The Song dynasty is not so much the Zhao family. Rather, it is a loose alliance. When other countries wanted to invade the Song dynasty, people in the Zhonggu were willing to help. Because helping Da Song means helping yourself. Unlike the Song dynasty, other countries had loose management. No one among the Zhonggu forces who have lived in the Song dynasty for a long time wants to have a father above their heads. This is the main reason why the Song dynasty court was the weakest but still existed for a long time. The Song dynasty court was not strong. But the entire Song dynasty is very strong. This is the unique way of survival in the Song dynasty. The opposite of what the Song dynasty court did was the Qin dynasty. The Great Qin court had the strongest combat effectiveness among all the courts. However, Da Qin Zhonggu is the weakest. The remaining 6 emperors of the Qin dynasty, Ying Zhengfen, destroyed the 6 neighboring small countries. The horse rides on the rivers and lakes, and the forces of the rivers and lakes are eliminated. Those who obey me will prosper, and those who go against me will perish. Gathering the entire power of Great Qin into one body. The descendants of the dynasties that were destroyed in the 6 kingdoms were hiding in hiding, like bereaved dogs, and even fled to other countries. The concentration of power in Da Qin was actually a barrel of explosives. There are too many enemies. It was fine when Ying Zheng was around, but once Ying Zheng dies, it is very likely that he will be overthrown. In this world, dynasties gather together. The original history can only be used as a reference. Yingzheng surrendered to the Zhonggu, which caused the aristocratic families and sects in other countries to regard Da Qin as a tiger and wolf. He was deeply on guard against Da Qin. There is no shortage of forces that secretly support the people of the 6 nations that were destroyed. Zhang Feng has no idea of extending the Zhang family's industry to Da Qin for the time being. The Qin dynasty was a single family and could be controlled by its people. In the past, the Zhang family chamber of commerce could only be reduced to a vassal of a certain official. This was unacceptable to him and he would rather give up the Dakan market temporarily. Throughout the continent, the 7 great dynasties of Qin, Han, Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing stood side by side, while other small countries were isolated in a corner and were not enough to be used as a basis. Each major dynasty has its own characteristics. The Qin dynasty centralized power. In addition to its mediocre economy, the imperial court had strong soldiers and horses to suppress the world. It ranked 3rd in the country in terms of combat history. The Han dynasty has the longest history, and the dynasty lasted for thousands of years. There were many internal factions, eunuchs were in power, and local princes were separatist. They listened to orders but not propaganda, and the central dynasty lost control of the local areas. In the Tang dynasty, the contemporary Tang emperor Li Shimin was the Ming dynasty. Within the territory of the Tang dynasty, the politics were clear and the economy was developed. Li Shimin was tolerant and allowed different opinions. He was often sprayed with blood by ministers, which actually improved Li Shimin's popularity. The aristocratic families of the Tang dynasty held great power and formed a check and balance with the imperial power. The imperial army has strong soldiers and horses, and its overall strength is not weaker than that of Great Qin. The Song dynasty was the most unique. Emperor Zhao Zhen was kind and tolerant. He was not only kind to the people, but also generous and tolerant to officials. The reputation among the people is very good, and there is even a joke among the people that before Zhao Zhen died, he had reserved the name of Renzong's temple in advance. The Song dynasty's army was less effective in combat, but its economy was always inferior to other countries. During the Song dynasty, taxes were low, coupled with the loose government management. The private economy was extremely active, there were countless business families, and their products were sold well in various countries. The eyes of other dynasties turned red with envy. Dayuan is close to the grassland in the northern part of the mainland, with abundant pasture, flocks of cattle, sheep and horses, and the strength of the cavalry ranks first among all countries. However, the bitter cold in the north is not conducive to economic development. Every winter, when food is scarce, herdsmen gather in groups to harvest grass and grain. The Yuan dynasty was connected with the four kingdoms of Qin, Han, Ming and Qing. The princes of the Han dynasty were divided and the imperial power declined. Therefore, the Yuan dynasty often plundered the borders of the Han dynasty. After the death of Zhu Yuanzhang, the founding emperor of the Ming dynasty, he was succeeded to the throne by Zhu Yunwen. Zhu Yunwen's foothold was not stable and he made a show of cutting down the vassal. King Zhu Di of Yan was forced to rebel and seize the throne. The northern part of the Ming dynasty borders the Yuan dynasty, and the northeastern part borders the Qing dynasty. There are frequent frictions with the two countries. In order to resist the invasion of the two countries, Zhu Di moved the capital to Yanjing. Zhu Yuanzhang had been a beggar, was bullied in his early years, and suppressed the bureaucracy very hard. Zhu Di was another emperor who inherited Zhu Yuanzhang's will. Officials in the Ming dynasty had the most difficult life, and many scholars went to the Song dynasty to take the imperial examination. The eastern part of the Ming dynasty was connected to the Song dynasty, its economy depended on the Song dynasty, and it had a good relationship with the Song dynasty. The last dynasty of the Qing dynasty, Emperor Kangxi, succeeded to the throne at a young age, destroyed the three vassals, and eliminated powerful ministers. He was a talented and ambitious man. The northern part of the Qing dynasty was connected to the Song dynasty, and it coveted the wealth of the Song dynasty and sent troops to harass it from time to time. With the restraint of the Ming dynasty and the obstruction and assassination of the Zhonggu forces of the Song dynasty, he was defeated for the first time. The Qing dynasty was the country with the worst relationship with the Song dynasty. The people in the war hall scraped 3 feet of the ground and dug out all the Zhou family's wealth. Gold, silver, treasures, jade and antiques, and house and land deeds were put into boxes one after another and neatly stacked on the ground. Zhang Feng glanced at it and walked straight to the box where the secrets of the exercises were stored. The Zhou family's background is still a bit poor. The Grandmaster technique only has 1 profound rank, Yinshan Gong, and the innate technique only has 3. The Zhang family has not collected it, but Zhang Feng has included it in the system better than a craftsman. Suddenly, his attention was attracted by a piece of animal skin in the corner. This is the skin of an unknown beast. There is a map drawn on the animal skin. Judging from the terrain, it should be located in a mountain range somewhere. Unfortunately, there is no text description on the map. A route is marked above, leading to the location of the central mountain range. Red magma is drawn on the outside of the mountain range, which should be a volcano. He Ping, where did you collect this map? Zhang Feng was very interested in this map. Master, the map is kept in the Sutra Pavilion of the Zhou family, placed together with the Zhou family's inherited skills. He Ping said with a cup of his hands. So, a flash of surprise flashed in Zhang Feng's eyes. Put it together with the inherited skills. There may be treasures in the places marked on the map, otherwise, the Zhou family would not value them so much. Do you know the location on the map? Zhang Feng asked casually. He Ping looked at it for a long time, shook his head and said, Master, I don't know either. Why don't you ask your brothers? Let's talk about it later. Zhang Feng put the map into the storage ring. If you want to know the location on the map, you have to look at the hidden guard. Secret guards are distributed in various countries, and as long as the place is not too rare, they can always be found. Zontang left a small team of people temporarily stationed at Zhou's house, waiting for others to take over. The rest of the people moved all the treasures out of excitement. This mission made their mouths watery. Returning to Yang's house, Zhang Junlong came back intact. Zhang Feng breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Third Grandpa, how are you?" Zhang Junlong laughed and said proudly, "When there are many people, I hold back. Catching up with old man Zhou, he doesn't even have a chance to blow himself up." That's good. A grandmaster with a hatred of genocide is hiding in the dark, which poses a great threat to the Zhang family. If you can't defeat the Zhang family, then you can't defeat the descendants of the Zhang family. This matter reminded Zhang Feng. There are too many wars to exterminate clans, and it is inevitable that something will slip through the net. The Zhang family's frontal combat effectiveness is dominated by the War Hall. The Secret Guard is responsible for intelligence work. On the one hand, the scavengers are responsible for establishing scattered forces in various places, and on the other hand, they are also responsible for the things that the Secret Guards cannot solve. In fact, the overall strength of the Secret Guards is not lower than that of the scavengers, and a large number of Secret Guard leaders are top-notch talents selected by the Zhang family. The problem is that the territory the Secret Guards are responsible for is too large. The focus of the Secret Guards was in the Song dynasty, and there were also Secret Guards distributed in the Seven Kingdoms. If the territory is too big, the experts will become scattered. So much so that for some tasks, we had to ask scavengers for help. Yang's stall is very large. According to Zhang Feng's idea, in the future the scavengers will be responsible for establishing power in various places. This is the scavenger's strength, and the assassination work will be separated from the scavenger. The War Hall is responsible for frontal combat and no longer engages in destroying families and destroying families. In this way, the Zhang family still needs a secret force to do the dirty work and completely separate from the Zhang family. After all, the Zhang family is a force of the Chamber of Commerce. It would be okay if the battle to destroy the family happened once or twice. If you do it too often, even a fool will notice something fishy. Furthermore, even if someone escapes when the family is destroyed, the hatred will not reach the Zhang family. Creating a dark force that can fight on behalf of Zontang cannot be accomplished overnight. The Zhang family battle hall has been established for nearly 100 years before it has the power it has today. Even if resources are in unlimited supply, the framework is mature. The growth of personnel also takes time. Without 30 or 40 years, it would be difficult to reach the current strength of Zontang. Do you want to peel off some of the people in the War Hall? Zhang Feng rubbed his head. Let's put this matter on hold for now. The War Hall is suitable for frontal attacks, but it is not good at hiding in the dark. Don't waste it all at once. Not long after, Hu Sha came back with a detachment. The War Hall dealt with a small gang, which was a dimensionality reduction attack. Not even a single member was seriously injured. Zhang Feng took a casual look at the trophies and found nothing special, so he lost much interest. After searching his house for a day, Zhang Feng felt a little tired. Back in the backyard, Wang Yuyan was giving instructions on Azu Abbey's martial arts, while Cheng Lingsu looked on with a smile. It's funny to say that among these soldiers, Wang Yuyan has the lowest cultivation level. He just started practicing, and with the sufficient supply of Zhang family's resources, he could barely break through to the 9th grade. Yunur, how is your practice going? Zhang Feng smiled and greeted Cheng Lingsu. Husband, look. Wang Yuyan turned into an afterimage and appeared in front of Zhang Feng. Great accomplishments, floating ripple microsteps. Zhang Feng looked surprised. In just a few days, Wang Yuyan's floating ripple microsteps came true. As expected of someone who can understand martial arts and point out flaws at a glance. If Zhang Feng had no system, his understanding would definitely be beaten by Wang Yuyan. Awesome. Zhang Feng gave a thumbs up and asked, are there enough training supplies? The Zhang family has clear rules, including that Zhang Feng himself receives quantitative resources from the family treasury. Of course, the head of the family has very high authority. As long as it is used for oneself, whatever the family has is not enough. In addition, Zhang Feng has his own private treasury. The treasures he gained last time outside, including the skills he acquired, all belong to him. At his disposal, It's just that he left a backup copy of the technique in his family. Husband, there is enough, there is too much to use. Wang Yuyan held Zhang Feng in her arm, with a happy look on her face. She received the cultivation materials as the wife of the housekeeper. He brought a huge dowry to the Zhang family, and no one had any objections. Mr. Zhang, Yu Yan, I'm going back to my room first. Cheng Lingsu's face turned red as she looked at the two of them making love to each other. Wang Yuyan blinked at Azu and Bai, and they excused themselves. In the past few days, Zhang Feng has been busy cleaning up the family traitors and destroying the Zhou family. Wang Yuyan didn't find a chance to talk to him about Cheng Lingsu. Husband, I helped you deal with Sister Lingsu, how are you going to thank me? Wang Yuyan asked, blinking her eyes. Zhang Feng answered the question, Yu Yan, I have wronged you. I am not wrong. Wang Yuyan leaned on Zhang Feng's chest, but, husband, can you agree to my request? Just say it. Zhang Feng is such a thief. He seemed to agree, but he didn't seem to say anything. Wang Yuyan said, husband, Yun'er has no objection to you taking concubines. If you have a good girl, Yun'er will help you. If there is a new person coming in the future, let Lingsu and I take a look first. Yun'er doesn't want to fight over anything. She doesn't want anyone with too utilitarian ideas to appear in the Zhang family's backyard. Wang Yuyan looked aggrieved, which made me pity her. What did I think it was? Zhang Feng breathed a sigh of relief. Yun'er, I promise you. Really? Wang Yuyan's eyes lit up. She didn't expect things to go so smoothly. Zhang Feng held her shoulders and said seriously, a while ago, my aunt gave me dozens of portraits to choose from, and I chose you. My husband is the same as you think. It is better to have less than to live in the Zhang family's back house. Zhang Feng has thoughts about Cheng Lingsu, not only because Cheng Lingsu is beautiful and has a gentle and kind personality. It's also because Cheng Lingsu has extremely strong medical skills. In the future, the female members of the Zhang family will have to deal with physical discomfort. It is always more convenient for one's own family than for outsiders. If he just wants to be beautiful and fresh, given his status, there are many ways to do it, and there is no need to bring it home. Husband, I believe you. When are you going to introduce Lingsu into your family? Wang Yuyan looked satisfied. Find some time. Zhang Feng thought for a while and said, find an auspicious day and the matchmaker is getting married. We can't let Lin Su enter my Zhang family and suffer injustice. After all, Cheng Lingsu is the apprentice of the poisonous medicine king of Medicine King Valley, so he cannot lose his etiquette. Husband, I'm going to tell Lin Su the good news. Cheng Lingsu heard Zhang Feng's words while hiding behind the door. Her face turned red, and she felt a touch of warmth and emotion in her heart. Zhuguangbaochi Pavilion, Back Mountain. The first floor of the Xingyi building of the Zhonggu Killer Organization is located. Many people don't know that Xingyi Tower is not one building, but consists of 108 buildings. There are 108 killers in each building, distributed all over the world. In a certain hall on the first floor, 108 portraits hang here. These people are all the owners of each branch, and their strength is above an 8. Among them, the top-ranked poster has even reached the level of Grand Master. Most people only know the tip of the iceberg of Xingyi Tower, but they don't know that the background of Xingyi Tower is so terrifying. General, there is news from the 98th floor. The Wang family is still waiting for your reply. In an antique room, an old man wearing a green shirt stood with his hands behind his hands and said calmly, have you found out the details of the Zhang family? This person is Huo Shu, the boss of Qingyi Tower, who is at the pinnacle of Grandmaster cultivation and has a terrifying experience. A few months ago, Wang Zongping of the Wang family contacted Qingyi House and invited them to jointly deal with the Zhang family. The news reached headquarters. Naturally, Huo Shu would not listen to what the Wang family said. He did not immediately agree to the Wang family's invitation. Instead, they arranged to investigate the details of the Zhang family. When dealing with a grandmaster who has been in power for hundreds of years, one cannot be too cautious. Huo Shu loves money, but he doesn't make any money. Some money looks tempting but is hot to the touch. According to investigations in recent months, the Zhang family has been inherited for more than 300 years, and the first-generation ancestor passed away 100 years ago. The Zhang family launched soap and perfume industries 10 years ago. Since then, the family has made a lot of money, and the profits have gradually exceeded the original two main businesses of cloth and food. With a large amount of financial support, the Zhang family has grown in the past 10 years. It's growing very quickly. In the past 2 days, the Zhang family wiped out the Zhou family and the Taihu clan in the same city. The Zhang family dispatched a grandmaster late-stage strongman and 15 innate masters. According to the investigation, there are 2 grandmasters in the Zhang family. According to the analysis of the composition of the Zhang family by the intelligence department, there are no more than 2 grandmasters in the Zhang family secretly. Based on the number of Zhang family experts dispatched in this battle to exterminate the entire family, it is estimated that there are around Zhang family innate experts. The person who came here will reveal the situation that has been investigated for several months. With this level of strength, I can still afford it in Qingyilo. Huo Shu frowned and asked, confirm that the information is true and the Zhang family is not hiding anything. Quote. The visitor paused and said, the Zhang family focuses on cultivating talents within itself. Talents recruited from outside cannot enter the core area of the Zhang family, and spies from Qingyi Tower cannot be placed there. Because of this, we can better predict the strength of the Zhang family. The talent training cycle is too long. The Zhang family only began to flourish 10 years ago. It is difficult to train too many masters in 10 years. What you said makes sense. Huo Shu relaxed his frown and asked, where are the intelligence department's suggestions? The visitor cupped his hands and said, the intelligence department suggested that we can fight. But after all, the Zhang family has more than 2 grandmasters. It is recommended that the Wang family take the lead. If nothing can be done, Qingyi Tower can retreat at any time. Contact the Wang family and come up with a specific plan. Huo Shu no longer hesitated. The ones he dared not provoke the most were those forces that had been passed down for thousands of years. Those forces are each more unfathomable than the last. The great grandmaster lived for 1,000 years, and there might be one immortal alive. Qingyi Tower is just looking for money, not death. Huo Shu had always stayed away from the power that had been inherited for thousands of years. I would rather not make money than take risks. The Zhang family only existed for more than 300 years, and the trajectory of power development over the past several hundred years can be followed. Which geniuses have appeared in the past and which ones may be hidden secret hands? With a little speculation, it is easy to deduce the true strength. Yes, Yang. The visitor surrendered. Report. The secret guard comes to report. In the study room, Zhang Feng put down the kung fu in his hand and said, what's the matter? Family head, according to the reports from the spies placed by the secret guards in the Wang family has been sneaky recently and has no good intentions towards our Zhang family. The spies found out that the Wang family seems to be contacting Qingyi House to do harm to my Zhang family. Qingyi Building. Zhang Feng frowned. Master, Qingyi Tower is a gangster killer organization. It is powerful and operates extremely strictly. According to the investigation by the secret guards, Qingyi Tower is an organization that has appeared in the gangs and lakes in the past 30 years. Not only the Song dynasty, but according to the news from the Tang and Ming branches, traces of the Qingyi Tower have appeared in both the Tang and Ming dynasties. In the past 30 years, the Qingyi Tower has secretly taken on many tasks. The forces targeted by the Qingyi Tower, the end result was not good. Qingyi Tower has never targeted the forces that have been passed down for a long time. It is relatively low-key, so it didn't cause much commotion. The secret guard summarized the collected information about Qingyi Tower and reported it in time. Qingyi Tower. Zhang Feng has heard that it is a force under Gu Daxia. Since Daxia Gu had too many powerful forces, Zhang Feng didn't pay any attention to them. I don't know much about the specific situation of Qingyi Building. Since it was once a famous force, it must not be much weaker. Anymore, let go of the thoughts in your heart, it's nothing more than soldiers coming to cover up the water and the earth. As long as there is no great grandmaster, Zhang Feng doesn't have much to worry about. The stronghold of Qingyi Building is very secretive. Each stronghold is called a branch building. It is difficult for the secret guards to investigate how many branches there are in Qingyi Building. It is difficult to evaluate the overall strength of Qingyi Building. Master, some time ago we tracked down the whereabouts of the iron shoe thief, but stopped after arriving at Xingyi Building. We suspected that the iron shoe thief was hiding in Xingyi Building, and it's very possible to mention it. Oh, Zhang Feng touched his chin and asked the secret guard to investigate the news about the iron shoe thief. Unexpectedly, it was much more difficult than expected. Right, the Hua family must have put in a lot of effort. If there is no result from the investigation, it must be hidden deep. The iron shoe thief actually got involved with Qing Yilu. It can be considered a relatively valuable news. Continue the investigation and keep an eye on the Wang family. If there is any news, report it as soon as possible. Zhang Feng said thoughtfully. Yes, master. Zhang Feng pondered in his heart, the Wang family is seeking death themselves, so I can't be blamed. Wang Yuyan didn't know that she had no blood relationship with the Wang family. Li Qingluo doesn't have much affection for the Wang family. If the Wang family targets the Zhang family will inevitably destroy the Wang family. This matter was also learned about Huji Qingnuo. Ask her to tell Wang Yuyan her true identity. Mantu Villa. Mom. Wang Yuyan held Li Qingluo's arm. Do you still remember mother? Li Qingluo scolded. Girl, you forgot about your mother when you got a husband. Mom, aren't we here to see you? Wang Yuyan said coquettishly. Mother-in-law, you might as well move to Yang's house so that Yuyan can spend more time with you. Zhang Feng said with a smile. Let's talk about it later, I won't disturb the two-person world of you two young people. Li Qingluo smiled softly. Yunur, go help my mother-in-law take care of her camellias. Zhang Feng smiled at Wang Yuyan. Wang Yuyan was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, That's fine, it's been a long time since I helped mother take care of the camellias. She is as smart as ice and snow. Qingjun should have something important to discuss with his mother. Since we have sent her away, it should be inconvenient for her to know for the time being. After Wang Yuyan left, Li Qingluo asked in surprise, Fenger, what's the important matter? Zhang Feng nodded, I do have something important to report to my mother-in-law. Li Qingluo said angrily, You are already the head of the family, what else do you have to report to my wife, the Taoist family? She is still very satisfied with Zhang Feng's attitude. Regardless of whether before or after marriage, Zhang Feng's attitude toward Yuyan remained consistent. This is rare. In addition, Yuyan's body was cured. This made her very happy for her original decision, secretly thinking that her daughter had married into a good family. Thinking of this, Ji Qing felt a little self-pity. Zhang Feng got straight to the point. Mother-in-law, according to news from the Zhang family's secret guards, the Wang family is contacting the Qingyi House, a killer organization in the world, to plot against the Zhang family. After all, the Wang family is related to my mother-in-law and Yuyan. I came here to inform my mother-in-law about this matter to avoid any misunderstanding. Wang Yuyan was not a member of the Wang family, so Zhang Feng could only pretend he didn't know. Li Qingluo has to say this herself. Is this happening? Li Qingluo was shocked. Zhang Feng nodded and said nothing more. Li Qingluo sighed heavily and guessed the general cause and effect, but because of the Langguan Jade Cave. If that's the case, I did something bad with good intentions. Zhang Feng smiled and said, What does this matter have to do with my mother-in-law? Do you need other people's consent to dispose of your own belongings? Isn't it the most ridiculous thing in the world? Zhang Feng then stated his purpose of coming. I am not here to ask my mother-in-law to make peace between the Zhang family and the Wang family. To be honest with my mother-in-law, even with the little strength of the Wang family, even if they unite with Qingyi Tower, my Zhang family can be destroyed with a single blow. The main reason I came here is to know my mother-in-law's attitude towards the Wang family. If my mother-in-law cares about the Wang family, it's not a bad idea to let him go as long as the Wang family reigns in the situation. If my mother-in-law doesn't have much affection for the Wang family, then follow the rules of the world. Quote. Zhang Feng looked domineering, as if the Wang family was just a little bug. Li Qingluo's eyes were blurred. It would be great if that person was so domineering back then. He came back to his senses from a trance, with a hint of blush on his face. Li Qingluo, what are you thinking about? He smoothed his hair on his forehead to cover up his embarrassment and said softly, Fenger, can the Zhang family really ignore the strength of the Wang family? There are 2 grandmasters in the Wang family, and there are only 2 grandmasters in the Zhang family publicly. Even if they are hiding something, there are probably 4 or 5 at most. If the Wang family joins forces with others, even if the Zhang family wins, it will only be a miserable victory. If so, she is a sinner. Mother-in-law, to tell you the truth, the Zhang family's apparent strength is only for others to see. It's just a mere Wang family, and the Zhang family really doesn't take it to heart. It was precisely because he knew that Li Qingluo had no feelings for the Wang family that Zhang Feng exposed a little of his trump cards in front of her. Well, I won't ask about the specific situation of the Zhang family. After hearing this, Li Qingluo said directly, then you can do whatever you want, don't worry about my situation. Here, Yu Yan's place. Zhang Feng hesitated. Li Qingluo looked pleased. Fenger, thank you for caring about our mother and daughter's feelings. Don't worry about Yuner, I will convince her. Although Li Qingluo did not directly say that Wang Yuyan had nothing to do with the Wang family, her attitude was obvious. Well, by the way, mother-in-law, you should stay with the Zhang family during this period. I'm afraid that the Wang family will go crazy and start from you. Li Qingluo has no feelings for the Wang family, and similarly, the Wang family has no feelings for her. In this case, the Wang family may not take action against Li Qingluo if I reveal a flaw. Li Qingluo thought for a while and nodded, okay. Wang family, a secret hall. On the long table, the ancestors of the Wang family, Wang Ziyan, Wang Zixuan and several senior members of the Wang family were sitting on one side. The people on the other side are all wearing green clothes and have iron-faced faces, and their specific appearance cannot be seen. The leader is a powerful grandmaster. You are the leader of Qingyi Tower, right? Wang Ziyan spoke first. The old man has something important to do. As the first owner of Xingyi Building, I am fully responsible for this matter. The leading masked man spoke calmly. A look of displeasure flashed across Wang Ziyan's face. The 2 sides were discussing important matters, but the leader of Qingyi Tower did not show up. What a big rack. Wang Ziyan immediately calmed down the expression on his face. This so-called first building owner has reached the peak of grandmaster. How powerful must the leader of Qingyi Building be? The Wang family cannot be offended. At this time, he felt a little uneasy. 2 grandmasters came to Qingyi Tower, and together with the mysterious leader, their strength was faintly superior to that of the Wang family. This is just the first contact. There are at least 3 grandmasters in Qingyi Tower. How powerful must they really be? If the Zhang family is really destroyed, how much say will the Wang family have? At this point, he could only bite the bullet and continue talking to avoid provoking 10 mysterious opponents. Compared with the Zhang family who knew everything, he was more unwilling to offend the unknown Qing Yilo. Wang Ziyan laughed and said, I wonder if the 2 parties will join hands this time. Does the Xingyi Building have a charter? The first poster already had an idea in his mind. The Wang family takes the lead, and the Xingyi Tower takes the lead, and the Zhang family is bound to be destroyed in one fell swoop. Wang Ziyan was dumbfounded. That's it, we will be cannon fodder, and you will take advantage of us behind the scenes. If you can beat me, then fight. If you can't beat me, run away. I am the queen of the Wang family. Wang Ziyan was angry. Your Excellency, it's not like you came here with sincerity. Xingyi Tower is simply too bullying and doesn't take my Wang family seriously. Is this the way they talk about things? If he didn't know the details of Qingyi Building, Wang Ziyan would have wanted to kill this person here. What a bully. The first poster laughed. This matter was initiated by the Wang family, and of course the Wang family must show sincerity. Our Qingyi house is dispensable in dealing with the Zhang family. Master Wang, what do you think? The first poster looked completely unconcerned and decided to take over the Wang family. HMPH. Zong, see the guests off. Prince An was so angry that he shook his robe and refused to say any more. Our Wang family really covets the Zhang family's inheritance and wealth. But your Qingyilo family is not the only one we can cooperate with in this world. It's not the business that's on the pole. The partner Wang Zongping is looking for is unreliable. The owner of the first building, the old god, was there and did not get up. He said casually, tell me, if Qingyi Building sells the Wang family's information against the Zhang family to the Zhang family, how much money will the Zhang family pay? Wang Ziyan had murderous intent on his face, and Wang Zi was fully prepared and ready to take action at any time. The first owner of the building seemed not to have noticed the reaction of the two people, and said calmly, "Before taking action, you must think clearly. Our Qingyi building is not the Zhang family, and the Wang family cannot afford to offend." Wang Ziyan let out a sigh of relief. Xingyi Tower randomly sent 2 grandmasters, and one of them was at the same peak as him. He can't even keep these 2 people, so why talk about Qingyi House? Your Excellency, don't bully others too much. The worst that can happen is that my Wang family will no longer target the Zhang family. I don't believe that the Zhang family will start a war with my Wang family because of a piece of information that I don't know is true or false. Wang Ziyan quickly calmed down. So what if Qingyi House sells the news to the Zhang family? Will the Zhang family believe it? Will you immediately start a war with the Wang family after believing it? Wang Ziyan thinks the possibility is very low. The Zhang family and the Wang family are apparently in-laws. The Zhang family went to war with the Wang family because of a false rumor. How does the outside world view the Zhang family? After thinking about all this, Wang Ziyan relaxed. The first poster frowned slightly, understanding why Wang Ziyan was so confident. He laughed and said, "I was just joking with fellow Taoist." Why should fellow Taoist be nervous? The first poster is a showman, just like the persecution just now has nothing to do with him. If you want to cooperate, please show sincerity. Wang Ziyan turned his back on the guests. My Wang family does not necessarily have to deal with the Zhang family. Besides, the Zhanggu is so big that there is more than one Qingyi house. In his heart, he no longer wanted to cooperate with Qingyi house, but he couldn't refuse bluntly. If Qing Yilo becomes angry and informs the Zhang family about this matter, it will still bring a lot of trouble to the Wang family. Of course, our Qingyi Tower relies on credibility to establish itself in the world. Since we are sincerely cooperating, the first poster made his true attitude clear. After negotiations, neither party suffered a loss and no one took advantage. Show equal strength and gain an equal share on both sides. This result is acceptable to both parties. Just as the negotiation ended, a figure quietly walked towards Yang's house. The secret guards were operating at full capacity, and through a large number of people secretly screening, they found the hiding place of the first building owner. Outside the city, a remote courtyard. The owner of the courtyard is a descendant of a declining family. Don't like to communicate with others. He usually lives in seclusion and is low-key. I've met the owner. At this time, this son of aristocratic family who did not like to communicate with others had a flattering look on his face, completely different from before. Get up. The first landlord spoke calmly. An agreement was reached with the Wang family today, and they just need to send the news back to the headquarters and wait for reinforcements. It is not unusual for major forces to place chess pieces with each other. In order to keep it secret, the first poster opened a sleeping stronghold. Suddenly, he frowned and jumped into the courtyard. In the center of the courtyard, the people who followed him were lying on the ground, not knowing whether they were alive or dead. 3 figures stood side by side, looking at him with interest. Are you from the Zhang family? The first poster was secretly on guard. In just one breath, a grandmaster and several innates were subdued. Are the people of the Zhang family so terrifying? He looked at the 3 people in front of him, 2 grandmasters and 1 Qingqing. The first poster breathed a sigh of relief. Innate people can be ignored. The 2 grandmasters join forces, even if they are defeated. If he wants to leave, no one can stop him. His strength is second only to Grandmaster in Xingyi Tower, and his peak Grandmaster status gives him ample confidence. Qingyi House has an idea for my Zhang family. If we don't come, it doesn't mean that we won't give Qingyi House face. Zhang Feng smiled lightly. After receiving the message from the secret guard, Zhang Feng, Zhang Zhenshan and Zhang Junlong jointly dispatched. The Qingyi landlord glanced at the person lying on the ground, but he was knocked unconscious and not dead. He had an idea in his mind and smiled cheerfully. This is a misunderstanding. If the Wang family invites you, I can't help but come. Qingyi Tower is a killer organization. It can cooperate with the Wang family or the Zhang family. Your Excellency, you must be merciful because you want to cooperate, right? Zhang Feng was stunned. He showed mercy because he had other plans. Unexpectedly, this person misunderstood. I'm not interested in cooperating with Xingyi House. Zhang Feng shook his head and headed straight out. The first poster was stunned. If an innate person starts a fight over a disagreement, what kind of action is this? After Zhang Feng took action, the face of the first poster changed. This person is too powerful. The strength is actually not inferior to him. Grandpa, third grandpa, let's take action together and leave anyone alive. Zhang Feng's cultivation level is only at the early stage of innate, so he is confident to defeat this person. But it is difficult to win in a short time. This trip was carried out secretly in order not to make too much noise. Good. The two of them took action at the same time. Although they didn't know why Zhang Feng wanted to stay alive from the beginning, they believed him unconditionally. Wrong. Everything is wrong. The first poster secretly complained in his heart. Qingyi Tower seriously underestimated the strength of the Zhang family. These three people, fighting alone, are not inferior to him in strength, or even better. He wants to escape, but his body went limp. Shameless, 3 people surrounded me and even poisoned me. The first poster's eyes darkened and he was knocked unconscious. The 3 of them quickly searched the courtyard and knocked out all the people inside. Until it was confirmed that no fish had slipped through the net, each person held 2 in his hand and returned to Yang's house in the dark of night without anyone noticing. In the dungeon, the Zhang family's top brass gathered together. Fenger, are you planning to let others practice the Biming divine art by leaving you alive? Zhang Junlong looked confused. Other than that, these people don't seem to be of much use. If they dare to take advantage of the Zhang family, they can be killed directly. The Great Grand Master does not take action. With the Zhang family's fighting power, 10 or 8 Grand Masters are simply not enough. Zhang Feng smiled mysteriously. You'll find out later. The first owner of the building was penetrated to the bone and tied to an iron frame. After regaining consciousness, he looked depressed and angry. The Zhang family is causing trouble for themselves, and the Zhang family cannot afford to cause trouble because of the strength of Qingyi Tower. The headquarters knows about my coming to Suzhou. As long as I don't go back, the Zhang family will definitely suffer revenge from Qingyi House. It's best to let me go. There's still room for maneuver in this matter. The owner of the first floor looked stern and looked very frightened. He saw the 5 Grand Masters in front of him and cursed the intelligence department bloody. How the hell do you get information? Also, who is the innate master whose strength is comparable to the peak Grand Master? The information contained a simple sentence about the newly appointed head of the family, who was very talented. Is this the information you have been searching for several months? Being fooled by a fool. The first poster secretly swore in his heart that when he returned, he would peel off the head of the intelligence department and all the intelligence personnel involved in the investigation to relieve his hatred. Don't worry about whether the Zhang family in Qingyi House can afford to offend you. Now you may be in trouble. Zhang Feng was in a good mood and had fun teasing him. He took out a medicine bottle from the storage ring, pried open the first poster's mouth, and poured the medicine inside. Gudong, what on earth did you feed me? The first poster looked ugly. The most frightening thing is that from beginning to end, Zhang Feng didn't ask a single question. He didn't know where Zhang Feng stood. The unknown is the most frightening. What exactly do you want to know? Are you asking? Crazy, right? Without asking anything, he gave me a sip of medicine. The first poster was very nervous, most afraid of lunatics who didn't play by the rules. Not only him. The 5 brothers and sisters of the Zhang family didn't understand Zhang Feng's purpose either. After about half a cup of tea, the first poster's eyes were blurred, like a mortal drunk. A word with a soulful wave sounded from the ear of the first building owner. What is your name? The first poster's eyes were confused and he said in a confused voice, my name is Lin Xiao. Your identity? I am the first owner of Qingyi Building. Zhang Feng looked happy. It was done. He wanted to use this method to get out the real information about Qingyi Tower and prepare for subsequent plans. If asked directly, Zhang Feng wouldn't believe it even if he dared to say it. There is a sound transmission soul-searching method in the Langguan Jade Cave inheritance. However, there is a weakness in the soul-searching method through sound transmission. It can only search the souls of people whose mental strength is weaker than yours. The main cultivation level on the first floor is the pinnacle of Grand Master. Even if the strength of Zhang Feng's soul is far higher than that of ordinary people, it is still far inferior. It happened that the thousand-faced poison demon refined a medicine called Chaoshan liquid in the thousand-faced poison sutra. After taking it, Grandmaster will become lucid. Can be used to extract confessions. The powerful Grandmaster has a certain restraint effect on the divine liquid by virtue of his willpower. The sound transmission soul-searching method plus the Chaos God liquid are a perfect match. The 5 brothers and sisters of the Zhang family suddenly realized that Feng Er wanted to find out the real information about Qingyi House. This is a good method. You don't have to worry about not being able to get the real information when you ask. Zhang Junqin felt the most. Secret guards often need to extract confessions, which cannot be tortured. You can only guarantee what others are saying, not whether they are telling the truth or lies. Zhang Feng continued to ask, and Lin Xiao revealed more and more information, and the faces of the 5 people became more and more solemn. This Qingyi building is a bit strong. Zhang Zhenshan sighed. 108 floors, 108 people on the floor. The posters on each floor, Zhao Nuohao, are all innate cultivators, and the posters on the previous floors are all grandmasters. In this way, apart from the great grandmaster, the number of grandmasters in Qingyi building actually exceeds that of the Zhang family. I really want the Wang family to unite with Qingyi House. I'm afraid the Zhang family's losses will not be small. Fortunately, Feng Er had this method to find out the true strength of Qingyi Tower. Throughout the night, Zhang Feng inquired about the information about Qingyi Tower in every detail, including the strength of the general manager, other branches of Qingyi building, etc. Each branch of Xingyi building operates independently and is only responsible to the general manager. The other posters are not affiliated with each other, and the first poster only knows a rough idea of the other posters. Feng Er, fortunately you found out the strength of Qingyi Tower, otherwise, due to negligence, the Zhang family would have suffered a lot. Zhang Zhenshan looked solemn. Grandpa, do you think I made such a big fuss just to get information about Qingyi building? Zhang Feng smiled mysteriously. Oh, Zhang Zhenshan's expression changed. Does Feng Er have other plans? Yes, this is why I specially asked Grandpa forth to come. Zhang Feng stopped hiding and revealed his inner plan. The 108th floor of Qingyi Tower is so powerful that it would be too wasteful to destroy it. Zhang Feng clenched his fists. If I, the Zhang family, take Qingyi Tower into our hands, the Zhang family will gain a powerful secret force. Doff. Zhang Zhenshan's 5 brothers and sisters all took a breath of cold air. They didn't expect Zhang Feng to plan the entire Qingyi building. Smaller. The layout is smaller. They got the information and were thinking about how to deal with Qingyi Tower. How much loss will the Zhang family suffer? Zhang Feng actually had his mind set on Qingyi Lu. When I received the news that Qingyi Tower wanted to deal with the Zhang family, Zhang Feng had a plan in mind. The first poster came to Wang's house and gave him the opportunity to handle this matter. Feng Er, how do you want to operate? Zhang Junqin looked expectantly and felt itchy in his heart. Zhang Feng already had an idea. The Zhang family has inherited the Thousand Faces of Poison Sutra, and its disguise is perfect. Thousand-faced Poison Sutra can dress up as anyone at will and appear like a simple bug. At this time, it seems that none of the Zhang family's great grandmaster inheritances is superfluous. 4th Grandpa, you have practiced Shaoshang Gong and can imitate anyone's moves. Zhang Junqin began to study the 9-yang manual, but found that it was not very suitable. Then he turned to practice the small no-phase kung fu, and he was like a fish in water. In Zhang Feng's view, the fit of the exercises is related to personality and experience. The 3rd grandfather, Zhang Junlong, is good at frontal combat and has a fiery temper, which is very consistent with the 9-yang manual. The 4th grandfather, Zhang Junqin, was the founder of the secret guard. Xiao Wushang Gong, a technique of imitating others and framing others, seemed to be born for him. Feng Er, do you mean to let me replace the first landlord? Zhang Junqin was eager to give it a try. No, Zhang Feng shook his head. Now that we know where the boss of Qingyi House is, we can do it in one step. The first poster, under Huo Shu, had no choice but to do things. Zhang Feng did not send Zhang Junqin to quarrel with Huo Shu, but directly killed Huo Shu and replaced him. Only in this way can we fully control Qingyi Tower. Feng Er, Tell me when to do it. Zhang Junlong had a strange expression. He suddenly felt that he could go to someone else's house and pretend to be someone else, and then seize someone else's property. Sleep with other people's wives and beat other people's babies. This seems better than attacking the enemy head-on. Did I go the wrong way? Without further ado. Huo Shu is a vigilant person. The first owner has been missing for too long and is easily detected. Let's set off in disguise now and rush to Jinling. Zhuguangbaoqi Pavilion is located in Jinling, the capital city of Zhangzhou. With their cultivation level, they can get there on the same day. Okay, Zhang Zhenshan said. Lao Wu is guarding the family, we will set off immediately. Although Zhang Junru also wanted to go, she nodded in agreement. Someone from the Zhang family must be in charge. Of the two double-flowered Grandmaster peaks, one must remain. Half an hour later, everyone quickly interrogated the person who wanted to imitate. Zhang Zhenshan became the first landlord. Several other people disguised themselves as his followers. Several of them are grandmasters and have extremely strong control over their bodies. As long as you know how to do it, it's easy to imitate someone's voice. After a disguise, even the closest people will not be able to tell that they are fake as long as they don't ask about the most secret information. It was Zhang Feng's first time pretending to be someone else. He couldn't help but give Thousand Faces Poison Sutra a thumbs up. It's so easy to use. After several people imitated their walking posture, tone of voice, etc., Zhang Feng smiled and said, let's go. Jinling. Zhongnan was the richest region in the Song dynasty, and Jinling was the largest city in Zhongnan and the seat of the Governor-General's palace. It is precisely because of Jinling's special status. Forces large and small are like crucian carp crossing the river. The number of spies planted by various countries in Jinling is terrifying. Jinling has become one of the most mixed cities in the Central Plains. Back then, the Zhang family had planned to move the family to Jinling, but gave up after some investigation. Jinling is too eye-catching and is not suitable for the long-term stable development of a family. Suzhou is just right. When it comes to business, it is not inferior to Jinling. When it comes to the environment, it is still above Jinling. The attention is far less than that of Jinling, and it is suitable for making a fortune in isolation. Jewelry Pavilion. It is located on an unknown hilltop on the outskirts of Jinling. The scenery here is beautiful, with many pavilions and pavilions. There are too many different forces in Jinling. Some forces thought that Jinling city was too small and built their forces in the suburbs. Entering the Zhuguangbaoqi Pavilion, several people stood in the face of the first building owner and his entourage. Smooth ride. Many people saluted along the way, and Zhang Zhenshan nodded lightly, following the style of the first poster. At the foot of the back mountain, where Huo Shu lived, everyone was stopped by guards. The first landlord is here for something important. Zhang Zhenshan looked cold. Go and report to the boss, I have something important to ask for. First host, please wait. The guard didn't dare to neglect him. The first floor owner had a high position and he couldn't afford to offend him. Several people stood and waited. Not long after, the guard came down from the mountain and said, please come in, sir. Zhang Zhenshan nodded slightly, and several people followed him. Quote. The guard looked embarrassed. The boss only said to summon the first building owner. Zhang Zhenshan frowned and looked gloomy. Did the boss say that he won't see anyone else? That's not true. The guard looked embarrassed. Then are you kidding me? Zhang Zhenshan had murderous intent on his face. Don't dare, sir, you have misunderstood. The guard looked pale and quickly lowered his head. After offending the first poster, he was killed, and probably no one would make the decision for him. Anyway, the boss didn't say that he couldn't see other people. The first poster brought someone there, so he can't be blamed. Snort. Zhang Zhenshan snorted coldly, tossed his robe, and led a few people straight to the back mountain. The guards lowered their heads and pretended not to see them. Huo Shu was waiting in the meeting hall. Seeing Lin Xiao coming in with others with a smile on his face, a trace of surprise flashed across his face, but he didn't think too much. Why are you back so soon? Brother, I have something big to report. Our plans may need to change. Zhang Zhenshan looked excited, as if he had encountered a huge happy event. Oh, what's the matter? Huo Shu was very interested in making Lin Xiao, a cold-faced person, smile on his face. This might be unusual. Zhang Zhenshan spoke slowly. I randomly arranged 2 safe houses in Suzhou back then. This is very common in Xingyi building. It is normal for a few safe houses to be placed in the cities you frequently visit. Zhang Zhenshan looked around and lowered his voice. The housekeeper accidentally heard a rumor a few days ago that the Tian family has a great grandmaster level technique. Huo Shu's breath froze and he lost his voice. This is serious. After hearing the inheritance of the great grandmaster, Huo Shu put aside the Zhang family matters. No wonder Lin Xiao rushed back in a hurry. The inheritance of the techniques of the major forces is very important. Huo Shu is not short of money, but he still does not have a great grandmaster inheritance. This is the same as in previous lives. No matter how much money you have, you can't buy mushroom eggs or the most cutting-edge technology. Yes, I specially tied up the young master of the Wang family. Unfortunately, his cultivation level is too low and he has only cultivated to the postnatal realm. Zhang Zhenshan looked regretful. This is a common method used by most forces to avoid being caught and having their skills leaked. Zhang Zhenshan glanced at Zhang Feng. You haven't handed over the remaining copies of the copied exercises to the boss yet. Yes, the host. Zhang Feng nodded in agreement, walked up to Huo Shu with a look of reverence, took out a thin booklet from his arms, and held it in both hands. On the cover of the booklet are written the 4 words 9 Yang Manual. Huo Shu took the booklet. Open it and you will see the essence of the opening chapter. Let him be strong, let him be strong. The breeze blows on the hills, let him be unruly, let him be unruly, the bright moon shines on the river. The more I watch, the more addicted I become. Huo Shu is a man who knows what he is looking for. Although it only recorded the postnatal realm scriptures of the 9 Yang Manual, he could conclude that it was definitely a Menqing level scripture. It turns out to be a heaven-level great grandmaster technique. Huo Shu's face showed a flush of excitement. Suddenly, a strong wind came straight towards Dantian. Huo Shu was startled and subconsciously prepared to resist with both hands. At the same time as Zhang Feng took action, Zhang Zhenshan and Zhang Junlong struck at Huo Shu's head from the left and right. Huo Shu's expression changed and he could no longer control Zhang Feng's hand attacking his Dantian. Let the 2 grandmasters hit the head, and they will be seriously injured even if they are not dead. Huo Shu had time to think about why the first landlord suddenly attacked. He separated his hands and faced the 2 hands coming from the left and right respectively. Choose the lesser of the 2 harms. An innate martial artist, even a sneak attack, can take down a grandmaster. True Chi's backlash is enough to make innate martial artist drink a pot. This is a countermeasure discussed in advance by Zhang Feng and others. Every detail has been reasoned out. If the first poster gets too close, it may arouse Zio's guard. Sure enough, when Zhang Feng stepped forward, Huo Shu didn't take it to heart, and he didn't expect Zhang Feng to sneak up on him. Even the 9 Yang Manual is true, just to relax Huo Shu's mind and increase his chances of success. PFF. Suddenly, there was a sound like a balloon deflating. Zhang Feng's fingers dug into Huo Shu's Dantian. Huo Shu's face turned pale, with a look of disbelief on his face. How can it be? Why is innate so strong? Huo Shu's breath quickly dropped and he looked at Zhang Feng with wide eyes. Who the hell are you? Huo Shu looked unwilling. Now he figured it out. The person who took action just now was definitely not Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao was not that strong and his moves were completely different. Not surprisingly, Lin Xiao's ending at this time should be similar to his. Huo Shu was extremely defensive. On weekdays, there was no one else in the back mountain except him. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be the biggest flaw. Zhang Feng smiled slightly and felt relieved. Huo Shu is a genuine double-spend grandmaster. If it weren't for a sneak attack, trying to capture him would definitely cause a big fuss. Wait for others to react. I'm afraid Huo Shu will take the opportunity to slip away, and his plan to secretly control Qingyi Tower will also fail. Huo Shuruo had a chance to survive if he blocked Zhang Feng's finger. Grandmaster is protected by true Qi and has strong vitality. A grandmaster of the same level, in a hasty attack, might not be able to kill his opponent with just his flesh palm. It's a pity that Huo Shu made the wrong choice. Zhang Feng's fingering method was perfect at heaven level, and his attack power was the strongest among them, which destined his subsequent ending. Asterisk asterisk. Zhang Feng familiarly took out the chaotic spirit liquid from the storage ring and poured it into his mouth. The first poster is just the first poster. He didn't know many core secrets in Qingyi Tower. Huo Shu's dantian was destroyed, and he suddenly suffered a huge blow. His heart was filled with despair. The effect of Chaos Shen liquid takes effect faster than when dealing with the first poster. Zhang Feng asked as usual, like he was interrogating a prisoner, "What's your name?" Shangguan Mu. As soon as Huo Shu's words came out, everyone's expressions changed drastically. Is this person just a stand-in? Where is the real Huo Shu? Zhang Zhenshan was on alert, his eyes glancing around intently. Oh, what is your relationship with Huo Shu? Zhang Feng looked tense. Huo Shu was the former boss of Qingyi House. He was killed by me 30 years ago, and then I pretended to be Huo Shu. Zhang Zhenshan's whole body breathed out and he was stunned. Several people took a breath of cold air. It turns out that we are not the only ones to have this idea, there are thousands of people who have done so decades ago. Zhang Zhenshan looked in admiration. This guy turned out to be a 6th grader. Zhang Feng recalled it carefully. He didn't do any homework in advance in his previous life, so he really didn't know about it. Zhang Feng touched Huo Shu's face. It was not a human skin mask. Human skin masks are the most common disguise method in the world. They are relatively low-end and cannot be used by experts. A bottle of special potion was taken out from the storage ring. It can wash away the traces of disguise on the face, which is equivalent to the makeup remover oil in martial arts. Sure enough, the potion was smeared on the face. Before long, a strange face appeared in front of everyone. Several people were amazed. This disguise technique is no less impressive than the 1,000 faces of Poison Sutra. Everyone asked questions one after another, and finally figured out the whole story. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.